Welcome.
Hey.
To Broad Ideas. I love when we get into our holiday episodes.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I'm just going to, and I may repeat this in the episode, but a good holiday album brings my heart so much joy.
So much.
I love even cooking Thanksgiving dinner with a really good holiday album.
Mm.
And that's what I did. Milk Carton Kids are here today, and they have an incredible holiday album. Let's bring them on.
Sometimes when the world feels insane, you can take a little peek inside of Rachel's little brain. All these thoughts are swirling round and round inside. To join us on this journey as we take a little ride. We'll talk about dogs and kids and things. We'll talk about chicks and tampon strings. We'll talk about boys that make you cry. We'll talk about death, 'cause people die.
I also would like to know if my Crocs are in the frame.
Are you wearing Crocs?
I noticed.
I'm wearing
I love
Crocs,
it.
and
I am such a Croc person.
He was
Thank you.
Croc
Yes.
shamed.
I was Croc
what?
shamed on Instagram this morning by our
What?
friend.
He's like, by
Wait,
my
can
mom.
you lift your feet? Can I see what Crocs you have on?
Yeah, show the Crocs.
I go Crocs with like comfy wool.
So, absolutely, but do you
Wool
not
Crocs.
do the Crocs that have the soft fuzz inside them?
Oh.
I'm
I
ashamed
know
to
a
say I don't even
Christmas
know about
gift.
these. These are my first pair that I've ever had. Still the only pair that I've ever
Okay.
had.
And how
I
do
had
they
them
feel?
on this morning.
love
I wear
them.
them all the time. I had them on yesterday.
They're furry,
They're
built in.
cozy. It's like a slipper.
I think I know what Joey gets for Chrismukkah.
Yeah, no, they're
Yes.
cool. Thank you for
So we're
supporting
done
my
here.
my Croc love.
We just
We're-
started, but
Thank
we've,
you.
we've
Croc fans.
This is
realized
why
our
we're here.
purpose.
Also, speaking of Chrismukkah, and like as a fellow halfer
Yes.
here, don't you just go Merry Christmas?
Yes.
Yeah,
Like
What do you
not
mean?
Merry
Christmas.
Chrismukkah,
not Chrismukkah,
not Happy Hanukkah.
not Happy Hanukkah. Even when it's Hanukkah, sure, Happy Hanukkah.
I
But
hope
like
so.
I feel totally othered if people know I'm Jewish and they say Happy Hanukkah to me when they've said Merry Christmas to other people.
Oh, I see.
Uh-huh.
But then don't you
Like,
think
I
there's
do
other
Christmas.
people that feel the opposite?
Maybe.
Nobody knows what to do.
Nobody does. But
You
I have
know?
a question.
But it is Christmas.
This is a complete.
when it's Christmas, so you should
Well,
say Merry. You can
because you're a
have Merry.
halfer, but what if you don't know what
You're like,
someone
Happy
is?
Thanksgiving.
when
should
that
stick with
happens to you, do you think that it's somebody who's showing empathy but is actually racist?
Oh, yes.
I think it.
Do you know what I mean?
And I could be wrong, but
Yeah.
So I've gone to Christmas parties before, and
Yeah.
you walk in the door, and people are going Merry Christmas, Merry Christmas, Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, Merry Christmas, Merry Christmas.
Right.
Huh.
Right.
And I
like
understand
you're cool. Fuck you.
Oh, I think it's like you're cooler, and I'm going to respect that.
Right. It means out of respect, but the way I take it, and this could be totally wrong,
Yeah.
is like, I think you're different. I think you think you're different. And this is me like trying to respect you, but instead actually just making this weird divide.
Weird.
Wow.
Yeah. Cool.
Huh.
Like it's a Christmas party.
And that
Yeah.
It's a Christmas
I'm
party.
here for the Christmas party.
that host specifically, do you think they came by it honestly, or is there
Yes,
just
came by
a
it
little
honestly.
kernel of anti-Semitism down there?
No, I don't. I totally came by it honestly, trying to do it out of respect, but inadvertently.
Has it happened more than once?
Uh-huh.
How do you feel about a happy holidays?
Oh.
That's fine, but I'd just rather commit.
Okay.
Commit one way or the other.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like if it's a Hanukkah party, I say Happy Hanukkah. I don't care if you're Jewish. If you've come to my Hanukkah party, Happy Hanukkah. I hope
For
you
sure.
have a Happy Hanukkah,
I do
regardless
too.
of if you're celebrating it or not.
But what I never got is that Jesus was a Jew. Why? How
True.
is it different? Like,
Let's
isn't
get
it
into
just
it.
all the big? Yeah, I know.
I
We're
have
gonna
questions
figure it out.
We
myself.
were talking about the light stuff before the cameras rolled, but now we're really figuring out.
The
yeah,
root of
no,
it.
we're really going to go
Yeah.
there.
Well, because we made this Christmas album,
Yeah.
and
That's true.
he's an atheist. I'm a Jew. But the
And you
song
made a Christmas
we made a
album.
Christmas album.
So they're all about
we
Jesus
did it for
Christ,
the songs.
You know?
Are you an atheist?
Yeah. But that doesn't mean I can't sing about Jesus, no?
No.
You can do whatever you want.
Christmas songs
Yeah.
are
joy-filled.
the best.
They're the
Yeah.
best.
They're so
Yeah.
pretty.
They're the most-
They put you in a good mood.
Yeah.
Right?
To
Totally.
be honest, we did it for the melodies.
Okay.
Like we
Yeah.
picked every song that we picked.
Yeah.
We just picked it for the melodies, and we're a harmony duo. So the way that we felt that the melody would carry a intricate or elaborate 2-part harmony that would be beautiful.
Yeah.
Was kind of what we leaned into. So I don't know, ironically, maybe we ended up doing like the most Jesus-y, most religious-y ones.
Yeah.
Because those they're like Baroque, medieval, some of them melodies
Yeah.
that are so
Like
beautiful.
if you didn't
So
know
pretty.
that Christ was born before this album, you will
Oh, yeah.
definitely know that Christ was born.
Yeah.
But
But I don't think anyone's arguing that, right? Or
I don't
maybe
think
they
that's
are. I don't
controversial.
know.
Maybe.
I don't know. I don't
We
know
can't touch
anything.
Jesus, you guys.
Yeah, they did. They were like, we can.
He touched them.
Yeah.
Well, and also
Why?
you never know these days. You know,
Oh,
you can never tell.
You
can
got
never-
it. You bring it
You
back.
can never
Never
tell.
tell
I will
these
say all
days.
of the songs, they are bangers on the Christmas. Like they are the ones that you
Heavy
want
hitters.
to hear
Mm-hmm.
repeatedly.
Don't you think?
I do.
Well, this was
Absolutely.
also the craziest thing about that is that there wasn't like an overarching design. We kind of just felt our way through it. And then when we got to 10, we looked at the list. And at some point, we looked at a bigger list of like, oh, what did we miss?
Yeah.
And you could make 5 of those albums and each one would feel like the top 10.
Yeah.
There's like
Yeah, there's
50
so
Christmas
many.
songs
There's
that
so
just
many.
feel ubiquitous. It's
Like
crazy.
we did the 10 songs that we most wanted to do, and we didn't get to White Christmas, for example.
Wow.
Oh,
You know?
What's your
Yeah.
favorite? Both of your favorite Christmas songs?
off the album.
It
Or
changed.
just- yeah, in
it changed in the
general.
process of making the album.
Oh wow.
Did it?
Yeah, because you spend a lot of time with each song and like really digging into the chords, and you can arrange them with different chords, to carry whatever melody, like whatever harmonies we wanted to write. So like going into it, I might have said that maybe like "Carol of the Bells" is one of my
We didn't even
favorite,
do that one.
which we didn't even do.
How does it go?
That's dun, 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 dun,
Oh,
dun,
okay, yeah.
dun, dun, dun,
That's
dun.
Are there
That's
words?
really good.
Yeah. All I can think
There
is
are,
the
but
music.
who
It
knows
just
them?
sounds like a Harry Potter song to me.
Yeah, or a commercial.
Yeah.
To me, it sounds
A
like
Best Buy commercial.
Yeah.
Yeah.
To me, it sounds like Home Alone. And actually, my favorite one that we did do was "Oh Holy Night,"
Mm-hmm.
which is also in Home Alone. And
You basically were just going off.
we
on
just
that.
we just
You
did the
see, you
soundtrack
just
to
did
Home
this.
Alone.
That would
is
be
what ended
great.
up happening.
That'd be amazing.
But we used my 10-year-old son to sing on it to
Oh, yeah.
do like a children's choir, like
Yeah.
backing vocal sound.
Free child labor.
Yeah.
I like it. I support
And
that.
well, when he heard it, he goes, "It sounds like Home Alone." And then I was like, that's when I knew
You're like,
we hit
done.
the bullseye. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that's so cool.
Yeah, it was very sweet.
That's very
It was
sweet.
his first time in the studio or anything, and
Can he sing?
he could sing close enough.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, we all need a little help
know
from the
that-
computer, but
Okay. And what's yours?
Yeah, anybody can sing this day.
Yeah.
These days.
I've tried. It doesn't work.
No?
Oh,
you gotta-
anybody with the help of the
you got to
computer.
check out
Yeah,
the
yeah.
software we got.
Okay. But then how do you do that? So
do
you're
you
saying I could be a singer?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Fuck yeah.
That's all she's ever wanted.
That's
in
all
her
I've ever
whole
wanted
life.
in my life.
Her husband gets her
Really?
singing lessons
Yeah.
every occasion that
Oh,
requires
that's
a present.
Wow.
so sweet.
I know.
She's never once used them.
I did singing
You don't
lessons
even-
once.
Oh,
I did
once.
do
Okay.
it. I did it for a minute.
Did it feel like it did anything?
He said I'm not tone deaf. Because everyone around me has always been like, you're tone deaf.
Yeah.
And he was like, you're not.
Huh.
You just need a lot of help.
Mm-hmm.
You know? It's sad. We don't
Singing
need to talk
is
about
definitely
that.
a thing that you can. It's like any other skill. I think everybody can improve a lot.
You think?
I feel pretty confident as a singer after 15 years of like trying to do it professionally, and like I definitely don't feel like I'm a particularly natural singer. Like when I was
really
younger,
hear
if I
that.
just sang, nobody was like, "Wow, that kid's got a great voice."
So
Like
what-
could carry carry
Like
a
how
tune.
he's just like,
yeah.
He's like, yeah,
I keep that every day.
can attest.
It's so true. Well, but it is an interesting topic, and I'm always conflicted about singing lessons, actually.
Yeah.
And I have some friends who are incredible voice teachers and have helped people that I know in tremendous ways. But there is this interesting distinction between like, if you go take singing instruction, if you're really good at taking instruction and you get all the way there, the thing that you're going to sound like is not necessarily the thing that I'd ever hope an artist I was working with sounded like. I don't think it's the thing that people are drawn to. I think people are drawn to vibes and identities, and you want to be able to do something confidently, and you want to be able to reach an audience without them thinking about your singing per se. But I don't think that that's necessarily a function of like good
Lessons.
singing or lessons.
But what about, so I feel quite confident when I sing.
Yeah.
Like I'll sing in front of anyone at any point.
We were singing so loud and embarrassed her son the other night.
I'll sing anywhere.
Yeah.
Like,
She
because
just
I
busts
just
out.
love it.
Yeah.
But what do you do with someone like that? And when the truth is it's pitchy or it does not sound good to other people,
Right.
you know? When they say that doesn't sound good to me.
Right. That's when there's a problem.
Right? What
I
do
would
you do with
I
someone
would do
like
two
that?
things. First of all, I would take singing lessons.
Really?
Yeah. This would be the
Wow.
first of many disagreements. The longer we talk, the two of us will have
love
more
it.
and more distance between us. But because I would take singing lessons, and then, painful as it may be, although maybe it wouldn't be, I would just try and record yourself a lot. The way that I learned to sing, I feel, was by just doing a lot of little recording things. And so like early in my career, before I had a career, I would do just any project that came up, and it ended up being like writing music for commercials and stuff. And so
that's
you have
cool.
to sing little 30-second
jingles.
things. And so you've got like 2 hours to make it sound acceptable. And so you sing a little thing and you hear it back and you're like, I make it a little different, a little better or whatever. And I feel like I really learned my own voice and the things that I could do and couldn't do, and just got better gradually.
I'm going to get so many
But,
voice
yeah.
notes from her now.
Yeah. Yeah. The feedback of
Holy
hearing.
night.
Yeah. Great. You're already there.
And you've done it.
You know what's funny is we have a funny serendipity about you guys.
Oh,
What
yeah.
is that?
So Rachel came to me one day and she was like, you have to hear these guys. And I was like, okay. And I listen to what she sends me sometimes.
Sometimes.
Sometimes, you
Really
know.
annoying.
How much do you send?
Honestly, not that much. So it's like
She really
you have
doesn't
to
send that
listen.
much.
If I send something, it's going to
Right.
be worth it.
Yeah, it counts.
Right.
So she goes, no, I think we were actually talking. We were talking at your house, and she said, have you heard the Milk Carton Kids? And I was like, that's weird. Because I just got off of a plane. I spent an hour next to this older British man, and we spent an hour talking, and we got really close, and we bonded over music. And by the end of the conversation, I said, just give me one. What is the one you think I have to listen to? And he said, the Milk Carton Kids.
That's,
Wow.
our,
And so
that's our prime demographic. Right?
Yeah.
Old British men.
The
Flying
coolest
airplanes.
thing is him and his son. He was telling me that him and his son had bonded over it, and it
Yes.
brought them closer together because it was a band. He was like, it's a crossover for us.
Yeah.
He's like, so if you take anything, take them. So I put it in a note in my phone. And I held that note in my phone for a long time. So when she said it, I pulled up the note and I was like, it's right here. It's been a single solitary, just by itself note for like 6 months before
Before I said, but let me
Yeah.
tell you how I discovered you guys.
Yeah.
Well, that's not really the story. But I was going to the dentist, and I hadn't been in a very long time.
This is our other demographic. Dentists
Dentists.
and old men riding airplanes.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
This is what you want to hear. And someone mentioned that I should listen to you guys while I was getting my filling.
Oh my God.
Right? You
No,
didn't know that when you
hold on.
recorded, did you?
Listen, I
was
had
not.
anxiety about it had been a while. Your ling, it's uncomfortable.
Oh, yeah.
You have like the rubber thing. It's a whole thing. And I had a lot of anxiety. And they were like, listen to the Milk Carton Kids while it's going on. And you guys,
And we soothed your
you
tooth.
got me
your-
through my filling.
Amazing.
Wow.
And that was it.
That
From
and a
then
little
on.
nitrous oxide and you're ready to
Yeah,
go.
I mean, the laughing gas helped.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
It was really low, and that was the first time I ever listened to you guys. And I was like, holy shit.
So you have them
That's so
associated with
sweet.
trauma now.
We've trauma bonded.
Right.
Incredible.
Aw.
Yeah.
Our
no,
music
really
is
sweet.
primarily for trauma. To experience trauma whilst listening.
You do have to be careful though. I
What?
made the mistake one time. So you know Jason Isbell?
Yeah.
So one of his albums came out, I forget which one, but a couple years ago. I don't know if this story will be gross or not, but
We like
we
gross
hope so.
stories.
okay, so I had been on tour. We had been on tour for a couple weeks. Came home, and there's like a side. We had 2 dogs. There's a side yard where they just shit.
Mm-hmm.
And my wife works a lot and does not enjoy picking up the dog shit. So usually when I would get home from tour, there'd be
She's like,
Yeah.
here's your shit.
you come home and like that's
A
one of
garden.
the return from tour presents that I would have is just like a couple weeks worth. So I put in the headphones and I put on Jason's new album whilst
To pick up shit
picking
too?
up all the dog shit.
Wow.
Not like to pick up. It wasn't like I wasn't doing it intentionally like the dentist,
Sure.
but I can't listen to the record anymore. Totally ruined it.
It's like all I could
It
think of
gives
is
you
dog
diversion.
shit.
100% like association. You know, like songs from your
You do.
childhood
It's
or whatever.
visceral.
You're
Amazing.
totally visceral.
No.
Yeah, I swear.
How many times have you gone back to
It's
test
the
it?
Reunions. That's one of his albums, right?
Yeah, Reunions,
Yeah,
yeah.
that's the one.
And if you put it on, do you like instantly start smelling shit?
Yeah.
You see it, you get
I have a
dizzy?
bad feeling
Wow.
and a bad
Shit.
sense memory
Wow. It
associated
didn't
with
do
them.
that for me. It just made me listen to you more.
Yeah. Okay, good.
Did it make you love the dentist?
You know what? I had to go back and get a few more fillings and I was fine.
Okay, good.
That time I listened to like a murder podcast.
Oh, sick.
That's one does.
I always think about that. I'm like, you probably, did that ever cross your mind when you recorded your album of the places and ways in which
would be
people would be listening to you? Like, it doesn't cross your mind, does it?
Honestly, no.
Yeah.
Absolutely not.
But it is that's wonderfully humbling. I think that we should all consider that.
Don't take it so serious.
Also, everyone should listen to you guys when they're at the dentist.
And everywhere
People don't
else.
usually tell you their dentist story. You get a lot of like, oh, your music got me through some hard time or whatever, and that stuff I do think about
Right.
because that's obviously super meaningful, but no more meaningful than
Having a filling.
getting a filling.
Right?
I think
I mean,
that's getting
it
you
depends on
through.
your
It's getting you
fear.
through a hard time.
That's a hard time.
It is a hard time. But it was your 2023 album.
The
That-
most recent.
Yeah, your
Oh,
most
yeah.
your most
Well,
recent
your
is
most
the
recent
Christmas.
is the
So
holiday.
Yeah.
holiday album.
Yeah.
But
Our serious, no, it is a serious album. We're very excited.
Christmas
just-
album, by the
you're
way.
funny.
We're not calling it a holiday album.
what are you
Okay,
calling
Christmas.
it?
Oh,
It's
we
a
are?
Christmas album.
Christmas.
Oh,
Sorry.
right,
I
right.
fucked up.
Right.
I
No
just
holiday.
did all
We talked about it before we started recording, I think.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah. But it's
Like,
called
I
it's
told
called
you, don't you dare call it holiday.
I
it's
did
called
all the
Christmas in a minor key.
I did all the asset building though for the social media campaign, and it definitely says the new holiday album.
Really?
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
You didn't clear that.
Technically it's not wrong. We
It
did
is.
record Auld Lang Syne,
That
which is not a
That
Christmas
is a New Year's Eve
That's a
song.
New Year's Eve
the
song.
New
Yeah.
Year's Eve song. So it's
And
more
that
than
one-
one holiday.
It is. What if you guys did cover Adam Sandler's Hanukkah song?
Yeah.
I feel like
I would do it. Just a serious version
Yeah,
of
a
it.
serious
like a
version.
sad, slow dentist version.
Yep. Yep. Everyone needs the dentist.
That's
version.
on
The
volume 2. We finished this one, and like I said, we saw the like master list. We was like, well, we could make 5 of these, and I think in that moment we thought that we would make a second one.
Wait, you
Yeah,
never said
right?
what your favorite Christmas song
Oh,
is.
well, that's hard.
I know.
I know
From
your
this
favorite.
batch, I really like the first Noel. It feels like an innocent little child,
It is.
you know.
Mm.
Sure.
And Joey sings. It's the first thing that you hear sung on this album is track 1, and Joey sings, and he sounds like an innocent little child, like swaddled in a
Oh,
thing.
in a
You're picturing in the manger.
Yeah,
That's really sweet.
that
that's
thing.
the word manger.
It's one of the only things I
What's
can
the
play on the
manger?
piano is the first note.
What is
of
the
Noel.
manger again?
Isn't it like the bassinet that he's in?
Yeah, but what makes it's just a bassinet?
Away in a manger, no crib for a bed.
I thought the manger was the barn.
Oh, see,
It
The
is?
barn type thing.
Oh, maybe
I don't.
It's a word that sounds like horses have something to do with it.
a manger
Right?
because a mange.
I don't
animal
even
thing?
know.
Yeah.
Guys,
Yeah.
we've really gone off the rails here.
I know.
We just recorded the songs. We are not experts in the
I just
rest
want
of it.
explanations. It's really
Yeah.
Broad Ideas is supported by Jenny Kane.
Yes.
We love. Been such a fan of Jenny's for, gosh, I want to say like 20 years. It's been a really long time. Maybe it's not quite 20, but it's definitely a long time. I love her aesthetic. Her cashmere sweaters.
So good.
They're my favorite. Jenny Kane is our go-to destination for the very best of the season with their iconic gift guide leading the way. I love a gift guide. Do you love a gift guide? I mean, it helps so much. Everything Jenny Kane makes is pure luxury, from their cashmere knits and essential outerwear to their homeware pieces like their obsession-worthy candles. There's no better place to get into the seasonal spirit than at Jenny Kane.
You know what, Rachel?
What?
Don't forget about the home essentials, like the giftable candles. Those are so good to get for people. Every scent is utter perfection and on sale.
Gift yourself and your loved ones the best gift of all, Jenny Kane. From now through the end of November, our listeners get 25% off your first order when you use code IDEAS15 at jennykane.com. That's 25% off your first order for the rest of November when you use code IDEAS15 at JENNIKAYNE.com. Let getting dressed be one less thing to worry about. Broad Ideas is supported by Article.
So is my house.
Love Article. That's right. Olivia's house, my house, so many pieces. And I just keep collecting more.
Me too. I want the big green couch now.
Oh, you should get the big green couch. You know what I'm getting? The leather dining chairs.
Yes.
I know. I'm so excited. You know, Article just really believes in delightful designs for every home. And thanks to their online-only model, they have some really delightful prices. Article's team of designers are all about finding the perfect balance between style, quality, and price. They're dedicated to thoughtful craftsmanship that stands the test of time and looks good doing it.
Article's knowledgeable customer care team is there when you need them to make sure that your experience is smooth and stress-free.
Article is offering our listeners $50 off your first purchase of $100 or more. To claim, visit article.com/broad and the discount will be automatically applied at checkout. That's article.com/broad for $50 off your first purchase of $100 or more.
That's such a good deal.
The best.
So how did you guys come to be?
She's good at this.
From the beginning?
Oh, our band.
From inception. No, like, how did you get here?
The 134.
It was off the 134. I grew up on the 134.
Yeah.
Hey,
In Eagle Rock.
Yeah,
You
I
really?
know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wait, are you both from Eagle Rock?
No, Joey's
No.
from Brentwood.
Oh.
But he really, I think
So
that's,
Wow.
different.
We're
Both
Valley
of
girls.
you.
I think that's why he always wanted to downplay that. He was like, can we identify with cool Northeast LA?
Yeah, it's different.
Eagle Rock. It does
Brentwood.
it
It
just
changes
says Eagle
things.
Rock
Yeah,
when you
yeah.
look you guys up.
Well, because
Well, that's where we,
Came together?
Kenneth's studio was there. And by that, we mean his parents' house
Yeah,
where
the-
he was living
at age 30.
at age 30 and had a studio there.
Yeah.
But that's where we, I would go there every day and we'd sit out on the patio. So we were both solo artists.
Mm-hmm.
And then we met and started immediately just arranging all of our own songs for this like duo, because first time we sang together, we kind of really clicked in the way our voices blended and the way that we played guitars together, and really quickly kind of knew that we were just going to do this instead of our solo thing. So I would go there every day and we would learn 2 more of his songs or my songs and arrange them like for this new band that we were starting. So that's where we felt that spiritually our origins were in
Atheist.
Eagle Rock more so than Brentwood. By the way, I'm a Valley person now,
Oh, good.
which was a big deal.
That
for
is a big
West
deal for
Side
a Brentwood
person
to convert.
to move over to the Valley,
What part?
Proud
Sherman
of you.
Oaks.
Okay.
Very proud.
And I have to say, I totally identify now and claim the
Valley.
Valley because,
So happy.
yeah,
Does Sherman Oaks way
everything-
up towards Mulholland count
goes
as the Valley?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I know it does,
It does.
legally, but like as Valley girls, are you like,
Yes,
He
100%.
could
If someone
come
grew up in
down-
the hills,
Well, he's saying
As long as they're not on the other side of Mulholland, they're valley.
All right. That's where you draw the
I
line.
feel like
That's where you
Laurel
draw-
and Mulholland is a little more valley than like Sherman Oaks, Mulholland.
You're a
Hill.
Studio
That's
City
still
person.
valley. Like
No,
where
I'm
Baron
actually a
Nate
North
lives.
Hollywood person.
North Hollywood person.
Where I grew up.
Yeah.
I see.
Okay, yeah, you can go.
I
That's
live in
different, too.
Studio City now, so it's close to you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love
I
A
love
Studio
crazy
City.
thing has happened.
Do you live in Eagle Rock now?
No, we live in Laurel Canyon.
Okay.
So you live
But-
in Studio City.
Well,
No,
our
he's on the other
studio's in
side.
North Hollywood.
Yeah, so you're on
There you
our
go.
side.
So I
You can
shop
claim
at
Valley.
the
It's all good.
I shop
He
at
lives
the
in West
Sportsman
Hollywood.
Lodge, Erewhon.
I'm there too much.
I'll see
Now you
this.
guys are gonna run into each other there.
Yeah.
Okay, can I
Pretty
just
cute.
say something?
Although I
Please do.
Joey's
Everybody
never been to
groaned when I
Erewhon.
said that I grew up in Brentwood.
We did. We did. We didn't mean
And
to.
you guys only go to Erewhon.
I didn't say only go to there.
Well, he only goes.
No, we could
Yeah.
go to Bristol Farms.
We also
No,
go to Bristol.
Brentwood
Let's all
just gives
just-
a different, because we read Eagle Rock. So we're like,
Yeah.
okay, Eagle
Yeah.
Rock. Like they are born
You know what my favorite
into
part
that.
of that is too? We've professionally worked in music for 15 years, but we live in a world where just we said some stuff a while ago and then it gets
Yeah.
echoed around the thing. Like, but I think that people don't realize like that's also what Al Pacino's Wikipedia page is
Eagle
just
Rock.
No, it's just some
Stuff he
shit
said
that
a long
Al
time ago.
Pacino's
For
been saying
sure.
about himself.
course,
that other
of course.
people. It's just not. It's not. None of it's real.
Right.
You know.
Rachel, do
Well,
you know
it's-
anything about that? Things that you've said that
Oh,
have
Jesus.
stuck?
Speaking of Jesus,
You have some Jesus
I
drama.
have some
She has had some Jesus drama.
Wow.
Yeah.
Jesus drama.
Well, yeah, like things that you said.
No,
that,
yeah, for sure. I've
Yeah.
said things and
that have
Yeah,
stuck
yeah.
and been like,
Mm.
wow, now that's what we're gonna remember. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
that's what they're gonna.
Wow.
We
Well,
don't need
the
to go
one
there.
thing is like also we would have just put Los Angeles as being like where we're from.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But we like our whole career also there's been a disconnect between like what we sound like we're just two guitars and two voices like around one microphone, which is the way it's
Yeah.
been since the beginning. And so there's always a disconnect for people between like being like an LA band but also feeling like some sort of a throwback folky like 60s thing,
Yeah.
which to us actually feels very LA because like Laurel Canyon and like the folk scene in LA in the 60s is kind of a huge touchstone
Totally.
for folk.
Yeah.
But like when we were going around in the beginning, people would be like, you guys are from LA? Like you don't sound like an LA
Right.
band.
You
Like, I
also
feel like you
don't
should be
feel LA, which
Right.
is something.
Which is something people who are originally from LA, I think, get a lot. Don't
yeah,
you think?
Yeah, 'cause we're from LA.
We're
and
from
people freak
born
out
and
all the
raised,
time.
and they're
Right.
always like, "What? You're so like norm or like
Right.
whatever the
I think
words."
it's people that
but it's
moved
like,
here
That's
Yeah.
right.
is what people think of when they think
Yes.
of
Yeah.
the bad stuff.
We
about
talk
LA.
about this all
But
the
we're
time.
cool. We're all cool.
We're cool.
And no shade on Brentwood.
No shade on
At all.
Brentwood, but
Oh, shade Brentwood.
I mean, no shade. I mean, Brentwood's beautiful. It's just, it's
it's
just,
yeah. Where'd you guys
it's just not the valley. I'm
not judging.
We're not
I,
judging.
I went to Brentwood School.
Brentwood School.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, but also you grew up in a different.
With Maroon 5.
So you know Adam.
Well, yeah.
Well, he was a couple years older than me. Yeah, but yeah, a little bit.
Some good bands came out of that
Yeah.
Brentwood scene.
Mhm.
The Milk Carton,
Carton
Kids.
Kids.
Yeah.
That's right.
But I do feel like you grew up like one click on the right side of the Brentwood designation, right?
What does that mean?
Yeah, what does that
that
mean?
mean?
Well,
It
just
means that my
if you-
parents live in a small house and
Yeah, like
know.
your mom was an elementary school teacher,
Yeah.
and like you're.
It was a different vibe.
it
yeah,
was a
you're
different
not-
vibe.
You weren't
and
like
also
Richie Rich, silver spoon in your mouth. You just happened to live in that part of town.
Area code.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
Zip,
zip
code.
code.
Yeah,
Yeah.
And area code.
and
An area code.
310.
310 versus
the
818.
310.
We
I
grew
was
up with
What?
that.
Still got my 310
Oh wow,
number, but I'm
that is legit. I hope you still have a 213.
My cell phone is still 213. Yeah,
I'm still 818.
nice.
You guys, it's all about area code.
it is.
But I feel like people need this stuff. The like, this goes back to our conversation about singing. Like, I wonder what you want out of singing, because whoever said singing has to be good. Actually, singing and music is like a language that predates all languages, and it's the way that people emote with one another.
Yeah.
And so, like,
Yeah.
it doesn't have to be good. Like, if you're
Right.
trying to get in front of an audience and make a thing, and like, we try to sing pretty because we try to make pretty music, or sometimes we try to make dark music, but it's kind of hooked on to something pretty or fragile or truthful or something. And so like that feels like that. But if you're like a punk rocker, you're not looking for pretty, you're looking for a specific attitude or a specific thing.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're trying to not like get criticism from the people around you for having
It's true. Maybe
There's a
it's
different
one of
way
the
to treat it.
terrible things that the singing shows have done to our society is make everybody think that when their friend sings, if they don't sound like they would win a singing show, that means they're not good.
Yeah, it's not a chair turn.
It's not a
It's not
chair
a chair turn.
Except I love
they're not
that show.
smashing their...
Yeah.
Do
I love
you?
that show so
Yeah.
much. And I think they actually do a fine thing because the people that are participating are trying to do that. Like
They are.
there is a discourse that's all happening.
Yeah.
I
But
hate it.
For
I
people
haven't
who
watched it in so long.
for people who can't sing, the interesting thing to me is we live in this time for people that can't sing like that. If you want to, rather than going to the voice teacher, you could do some bells and whistles in the computer and get close, which is an interesting, strange thing because it really like,
It's cheating.
well, it's cheating, but also like you never know who has the goods or what connects because in so many ways it really isn't about technical ability. It's about connecting to people. So there's like Post Malone. Can you imagine how magnetic Post Malone is to other people? Like whatever his ideas are and whatever he gives up, that people somehow feel connected to that. And he sort of flies completely in the face of not technical ability, because I think he's actually really talented, but the music that he produces like purposefully sounds artificial or like goes through that filter in a way that doesn't come at the cost of his ability to connect to anybody.
No, not
It's
at all.
Right.
such
Totally.
an interesting thing. And
That's
so
an
like,
art in
Yeah.
itself.
but so Post Malone 30 years ago might be this really magnetic person who has a lot to offer as far as like connection and representing something culturally, but maybe he wouldn't have had the goods
Right.
to operate in that medium then.
Yeah,
And so like
that's true.
these days we're getting people like that. Also at the same time, you're getting this flood of other people that don't have the goods and also aren't magnetic or like maybe shouldn't be making music at all. And so you
Yeah.
have to contend with that too. But it's interesting because I don't think it's necessarily like a wholly positive or negative thing. It's just now.
It's very interesting, and it brings up the question to me, what is the difference between that and what people are doing with like social media and face tuning and changing their images and like presenting something that has actually been modified?
Yeah.
Isn't that kind of similar?
100%. I find that my first reaction is criticism, and then sort of like the music thing. How could it be anything other than like, this is what people do, so now it's our job to
Adapt?
like, yeah, or understand it. Like, I can't believe that just all of the main celebrities just every day start looking more and more like each other. Like, there's just one person
AI.
with the same, but not only AI, but it's like they're going and doing it incrementally with cosmetic surgery or just
Yeah.
style or what, but that it's so, the world is so small and everybody's looking ostensibly at the same thing that like the gravity is so big that it's doing that. And it's like, that's bonkers.
Bonkers.
But I don't know if it's necessarily something that would serve us to criticize more than it's
More
kind of just a
understand.
reflection of human nature, what humans do. I don't
Yeah.
know. I mean, it seems silly to me.
I have another question real quick.
Mm-hmm.
So when you talk about the singing, and if you have a good voice or a bad voice, it's really about, right, shared connection, emoting, expressing yourself, all of those things. The other night we had a few friends. We'll sit by the fire and we'll sing and do that
Oh,
whole
did
thing.
you?
Shut up.
I wasn't invited.
You weren't there? You must have been busy.
Oh, she was invited. She was invited.
Anyway,
she
carry
couldn't
on.
go. But that's our favorite thing to do is my husband will play the guitar
Yeah.
and we'll all just sing. And it's not for anything but just pure enjoyment. But,
And wait, pause. What
Yeah.
do you sing? You sing like
oh God, everything.
songs people write themselves? No, like
No,
John
not,
Denver.
No,
like
we
whatever.
sing all
You sing
songs.
"Come Over" all the time.
We do sing "Come Over"
Is that the name of the song?
What's
by
that?
Kenny Chesney. Yeah, it's a really good song.
Amazing.
We have quite recently gotten very heavily into country, like Zach Bryan and
But that's not even like you were like really into country.
yeah, we like to sing it, you know?
Yeah.
So here's my
Zach
question.
Bryan, Zach Brown, and Luke Bryan.
All of them. We love them all. We like, but then
Do you consider Zach Bryan country?
I don't know.
oh, you don't know who he is?
Oh,
I
Joe.
know
you don't
that,
know
He's
who he
really
is?
I know that there's Zach Bryan,
Yeah,
Luke
kind of
Bryan,
totally different. Luke Holmes.
and Zach Brown.
You know Zach
band.
Bryan.
Yeah, and
Totally
this is
different.
classic Joey because
That's actually
Joey doesn't know who Zach
amazing.
Bryan is.
I know
but
that
Zach
I'm-
Bryan is maybe the most famous person in music, and Zach Bryan definitely knows who you are.
Dope.
Like he's a fan of our band.
he's like the biggest.
I love Zach Bryan. Zach, not,
I bet
he's
you if you
different from
listen
Zach
to his
Brown, though,
album, you probably would like
This is
it.
amazing.
It's really good.
You
He's
know
a
what's interesting
real
about Zach Bryan to me
yeah.
is that I love that people are calling it country music because it actually just sounds like what indie Americana
It's like
was 15 years
folky,
ago.
Like indie. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah. I think, and I don't know if he would ever take issue with this, that like he came up loving the Lumineers and Mandolin Orange and like all
Right.
these things that don't whatever
And the
they're
Milk
not-
Carton Kids.
Country. Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah, that
Maybe.
aren't the it's not like the lineage of what American capital C country has been for a long time, but somehow he's tapped into that audience and go like he plays Nissan Stadium.
I think
in
maybe it's
Nashville.
just his name. His name just sounds like all the other country artists.
He's
so that
not
he
gonna
gets to
be-
be country.
It's
he's
different.
not.
With Tyler Childers,
Yeah,
you're
I'm
familiar.
fantastic.
That's considered country too.
That is country, right?
And like
But that's what I'm saying.
Sturgill.
Sturgill, it's all changed. Like that's the
kinda
kind
like
of stuff
a-
we sing,
Gotcha.
Yeah.
right? But here's my question.
Oh, that's how we got on it.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
There's a part that I think you guys might be able to help me understand. The motivation to actually be witnessed in it. So you could make your music and keep it in a room, but for some reason you put it out there, right? So what is that piece as an artist? Is there a craving to be witnessed? Is it, I need to share this? Explain that part to me.
That thing has fluctuated for me over the years.
Mm-hmm.
It started with the idea that, or like the recognition that like my most profound, powerful, like human moments of transcendence had been at concerts as a like attendee of concerts, and I loved music and I loved playing music in my room with people and my friends, like in college, jamming for no reason in the daytime, and I loved doing that. But then the idea of like, would that be like something that I would just put everything in life on aside and like
Well, he
try
was
and
at
have
Berkeley
a career
going
at that?
to neuroscience.
What?
And there was a moment where it was between that and should I go home and strum the acoustic
No.
guitar?
That's true. Some people just always knew they wanted to be a musician and never thought about doing anything else. I was just doing school and sports, and when college was over, I was just going to keep doing school. But then got kind of pushed into doing music, and for me, it was a pretty conscious decision, and it was like if I could give that experience to other people that I had as a person going to concerts, or even just listening to records in, at your room or in headphones or whatever. Like if I could do that, that would be a good thing to do with your life and, meaningful and worthwhile.
Wow.
The thing that has gone through different phases, because then for a long time I was unsuccessful as a solo artist. Then we met and sort of started to have a career and toured. And then if I'm honest, for a little while, it was like a game. Like, can we like survive in this insane industry? When we started, it was 2010. So there was no recorded music industry. Like the recorded music industry had declined by 5% or something like that in the previous 3 years after Napster and everything. And there was no streaming yet. So like literally when we put out our first 2 albums, we just made zip files of them and put them on our website and blasted it out to the world to be like, download our album for free.
That's cool.
That's it, because there just was nothing.
Right.
Right.
And so we got in the car and went on tour. And so for a few years, it was like a game. Like, can we, rub two sticks together and start a fire in this wilderness out of nothing? And then
It was metaphorical too.
You didn't try that.
no,
We didn't try to rub sticks.
You've never tried that.
we had credit cards to stay in motels and crash at friends' houses
Okay,
and stuff.
good.
We weren't like camping.
That'd be amazing in your three.
In your
In the
three.
sukkah?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Our sukkah. We rubbed sticks in a sukkah.
We were
in the
like,
early years.
nomadic for many
Yeah.
years, wandering
is
in the
true.
desert before we arrived
We
in the
were like the
promised land
Jews.
of what was the
The
promised
historic
land?
Jews.
Was it
yeah,
an Eagle Rock?
the
Yeah.
promised land. Yeah, no, that's where we had left from.
Okay.
But maybe we were
Pretty
just
sure
returning
Brentwood's
home.
the promised
Brentwood.
land.
But what were
Yeah.
the musicians
True.
like growing up and hearing concerts or whatever? Like who were the bands? Who were the musicians? I want to know that.
Oh my God, everything. You
Really?
always had
I-
a different,
We had different experiences.
Oh,
I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. What
Yeah.
were they?
but like my first concert was 1988 Guns N' Roses and
Sure.
Skid Row at Irvine Meadows Amphitheater.
amazing.
I was 6.
That's
you
incredible.
were 6 at a
Yeah.
Guns N' Roses.
Uh-huh. And Axl sang 2 songs and then spiked the microphone and stormed off stage, and the 10,000 people at Irvine Meadows got really angry, and my mom was like, "Oh shit, we gotta
gotta
get out
go."
of here."
Oh man.
But then it was that through all the like awesome early 90s radio rock, and then in high school then I started listening to jazz, and then it was Tom Waits and Gillian Welch, like then I started going down the niche rabbit
Yeah.
holes of people suggesting this, you have to check this out, and so it went all over the map. But it started from like Green Day and Counting Crows,
Love.
Right,
Metallica
right.
and all that.
You?
Yours?
Yeah. Like when I was young, it was like my parents' records, which
Yeah.
were the 60s and 70s, like folk and folk rock. So like Crosby, Stills, Nash. Obviously Beatles, a lot of Led Zeppelin, Simon and Garfunkel, all that stuff.
Dylan?
And then, yes, although
Not as
not
much.
we listened to Blood on the Tracks every Sunday religiously,
Really?
every Sunday morning.
That's
Yeah.
interesting.
That
It
is.
just my dad put it on as like a weekend morning album.
It's so cute.
I know.
Yeah.
Did you ever ask him why?
Why?
That's how you do it.
You responded like
Like
as
that.
if there couldn't possibly be a reason, like an act
I'm
of
just
repeated
imagining asking
intention.
my dad, why on Sunday mornings did you put on that record? And I think his reaction would be very similar to the one I just had. He would be very confused and go, why?
Yeah.
Is he still around?
But
Yeah.
Do you want to call him?
Why?
You know,
we
actually
could call him
don't-
right now. I
we
bet
don't have him.
you would get a it would be interesting. I bet you I'm right. He would.
It would also be a
He's
real
just a little-
time commitment.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
They talk like every day on the they chat for hours on the phone every day.
That's
Joey and
very
his
cute.
We're
dad.
big overthinkers, overanalyzers. So when someone asks you a
Really.
why question, your brain starts to kind of like fritz out
Yeah.
because,
They just have
There's
to
an
do a lap around the pond to get all the way back to the beginning.
And they end on why.
there's an
Exactly.
infinite regression to any why question.
Yeah.
that-
We're gonna
and-
want the answer, however you get it at some point.
I would like
and
the
you can
answer.
Yeah.
Well, because I
relay
think
that.
it's
Even if you
significant.
voice
There must
note
be
it.
a reason. Maybe
You'll
it'll
have to.
help him.
It'll be different, also coming from you
Uh-huh.
You're gonna
than
ask him?
asking him than me
Yeah.
asking
Okay.
him.
I'll
Okay.
ask him.
He's gonna get us the answer.
So I don't. Yeah.
What was
I
your
don't-
first concert?
My first concert was. I'm trying to think if this is actually correct. I think that it was Rolling Stones
Wow.
at
a big deal.
Bridges of Babylon.
But I
Bridges
was at
to
that
Babylon
concert.
tour,
You hadn't
which you
been
were
to a
also at.
concert before then? Late bloomer.
Well, we were like 15 at that time. I was not at Guns N' Roses when I was 6.
What was your first concert?
My dad took me to the B-52s when I was like 7.
Oh, that's fun.
That's
I might
fun.
have gone to a concert when I was a kid. I don't remember.
Yeah.
Where was B-52?
We'll ask your
Somewhere
dad
in
about
LA.
that too.
I don't
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
I'd have to ask my dad, who's also long-winded, so I will not be calling him. But
What about you?
Mine was Led Zeppelin, but it was only
Page and Plant?
yes. That was my first concert.
was it?
Yeah.
That's fun.
We got to...
What's that, the
we,
Hollywood Bowl?
was not at the Hollywood Bowl. It was, I
Santa
want to say
Barbara?
it was in like Irvine or something.
Oh, probably at the
Yeah.
Irvine Meadows Amphitheater
Yeah.
as well.
You guys both had the same location.
Yeah.
Yep.
We lived on a tour bus with Robert Plant for 2 weeks.
What?
What?
Yeah, it was the most insane touring experience
Yeah, he slept
we've ever
above
had.
Joey in his swim trunks.
That's
What?
a
It was-
really
it's really
interesting.
strange.
Did he
Yeah.
give a reason
did
as
you
to
ever
why
see
he
that
slept in his
coming?
swim trunks?
I think I know why. Well, I think
I don't know that he slept in the swim trunks. The swim trunk, the like floral board shorts were like the lounge wear on the bus.
Like for everybody as a uniform?
No, just just Plant.
Just him.
Um,
How did that
we were
happen?
and we were his it was a songwriters like in the round format, so everybody was on stage together and we were all his band. So like we
Wow.
played
So
going to
cool.
California with him. Like Kenneth played the
No.
mandolin and I played the banjo and
Oh my God.
everyone else was his band. It was unbelievable.
How does that feel to get to that point? Because I don't know if you looked up to him growing up or not. but-
100%.
Yeah.
I listened to them, Led Zeppelin, probably almost more, maybe more than any other band.
What was that like?
Um,
Like,
kind of crazy.
totally surreal.
yeah.
Well, it
Also,
reminds
he's so different now. Like his style, the style and the way he sings is so different. So like, I think the main thing for us was just like totally in awe of the way that he is evolved into himself and like still totally relevant and like passionate about the new music that he's doing and like yeah, like he didn't want to do Zeppelin songs because he felt it overshadowed what everyone else was doing, which was true. But we all just wanted him to do
Yeah.
we all just wanted him to do them because we could play them with him.
It
But, like-
reminds me of an interesting, an earlier part of the conversation, rather, that Joey said before we met that he was doing music unsuccessfully, and so was I. But
You're like less unsuccessful.
You're like, but more successfully.
no, we were equally unsuccessful. I don't need to pull that at all. But it did feel like we were going somewhere. Like had our paths never met, there was some story that would play out, or that there was some purpose that would play out. But it is really funny. Like for me, I had dedicated my entire life to music, really. And it's a kind of humbling or strange thing to then reach 30 and a thing that took a lot of effort to connect with an audience and to do. Then I met this other guy and we thought we were doing the same thing. And then instantly the connection was like exponentially bigger. And that's a really funny thing to grapple with as an individual that's trying to express themselves and trying to connect. That like, never mind, does it bring up all the feelings like, am I good enough alone?
Yeah.
But more than that, like skipping that part of it, it's like a new level in life to unlock. Like here's this responsibility that you have with somebody else here. Now all of a sudden you've got essentially all the things that you wanted, but it's not on explicitly your own terms. It's in this other like weird thing. And so by the time we were on a bus with Plant, like we had done so many cool things, and not that we felt like we arrived, but I think one of the head changes for me when he and I got together is that all of a sudden we were this thing that I always wanted to be, because your peers are telling you so. Like we're not like the gold ticket winners on the stage. Like that was a tour that was Steve Earle, Emmylou Harris, us, Buddy Miller, Robert Plant, all sitting in a song circle, and we weren't there as the like golden ticket winners. We were there as
You were
like
there.
all
Yeah.
of those people were like, these are our equals, and every night they would
That's so
sit there and
cool.
like look in awe of us. And like this, I understand for some people how that can go to their head. For me, more functionally, it always just meant that then when we were behind closed doors with Robert Plant, it wasn't like, oh shit, there's Robert Plant. It's like, oh, there's that other guy that does music. You know, he's like
Totally.
talking to you about songs and doing the whole thing. And so like, really it felt strange how normal it felt. And that's kind of I mean, if I look back on the last 15 years, that was sort of this demarcation point that we're really lucky. The universe delivered, and they were like, well, here you go. You're kind of set up, but you're going to have to answer the questions as you go.
That's a
Right.
really beautiful explanation of that.
Mm.
And really, I actually learn a lot from hearing that. because it's kind of letting go of the idea of like having to know what it looks like. And sometimes we do find people that we unlock something with that you could never see coming. And then all of a sudden you're in the room and you feel yourself present in the room versus, you know, a lot of times people have the fraud syndrome and they have all of those feelings, but it sounds to me like when you guys arrived in that room, it was just you in that room with other human beings.
Mm-hmm.
That's really cool.
I felt that a few years later with my wife too, the same thing, where it's like after all this time, all it took to contextualize my weird quirks and my whatever is just to find somebody that like is tolerant of some of it, but also like
might be into it a little bit.
Yeah, and is like has her own shit. But
Right.
it's like, oh, that's what this part of you is basically for, is to help her deal with that or just to tolerate it or whatever.
Yeah.
But it was, yeah, it's like learning so much about yourself when somebody else is reflected off of you. And also specifically in the part of life where like, you know how life is getting up every day and doing the repetition
Mm-hmm.
or just doing the reps of everything, emotionally, physically, whatever. Like, to me, it's kind of like just if you can stomach it with another person. And it so happens that like people think we sound real pretty.
Yeah.
But even like I called him last night because I needed a ride here today. And after 15 minutes, we were on speakerphone, like at the end of our days. And his wife goes, I can't believe you two are still talking. Because we were talking about like a technicality of one word for 8 minutes. She's like, I can't believe that you
She's
people
like-
spend your time doing this.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
We get that.
We do. We leave each other, like today, if we drove separate, we would just call each other for the drive.
Aw,
I drive
that's
to
so
her
sweet.
house to drive together
So we can
Amazing.
so
talk.
that we could,
Right.
When you
Do you
find
bicker
that,
and stuff, or no?
we don't bicker much.
You don't have like a
Just shared
competitive.
interests.
No.
No. We've been friends for 25 plus years.
Yeah.
Or something. So, you know, that kind of stuff kind of left it in our early 20s,
We don't
Nice.
really, we just,
which was like 2 years ago.
it's almost like an extension of our own brain at this point.
Right.
You
Yeah.
know, you're like, it's like more of like
We finish each other's sandwiches.
So it's more like we
Wow, that
process this life
that was a thing.
together. You know, so yeah.
Yeah.
Can I ask a big question, which I
Yeah,
would
always.
then request that you don't ask of us afterward? No, you can
No,
if
we
you
will.
want.
We will.
Have you two ever had a falling out? Like, has it gotten bad ever?
We never had like
Not-
a
but yeah,
falling out.
I'm like nodding my head. Yes. She's like,
We
no.
didn't have a falling
No,
out.
it was-
We had space.
We
Yeah.
had space. There were things. She's been. Do you care if I? You don't,
don't care. We've
She's-
said it on
Wait,
the
did you guys
podcast a
have
million
14
times.
years or 13?
14 years.
She has 14 years sober. So like right before that
Congratulations.
happened,
Thank you.
Awesome.
you know, there were some moments where she
Might have flirted with inappropriate people or something.
at inappropriate times,
you know,
like yes,
Well,
But
that's
never
also
like
a
a
much
fight.
younger you.
never a fight, but there was
15
just
years,
space.
like
yeah.
20s.
That's like
Yeah.
a different person.
Yeah,
It's a different
I
person.
find I'm
yeah.
a different person than
Yeah.
15 years ago, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But there was like space, but,
But
there
there's
was
never been like a falling out
out.
or anything happened like that.
No.
I just realized it was really beautiful to hear the way that you talk about your wife, and both of my two
Wives.
wives. So my wife, and then my work partner,
Yeah.
which is our relationship is much more like a marriage than any
Yeah.
Yeah.
any other analogous kind of relationship. But I met my wife when I was 21.
Wow.
Wow.
And so I feel as though we've like built our lives together rather than like both had sort of fully formed or whatever lives and that like matched
Yeah.
up together. And then same with us. I mean, even though we did kind of have stuff going on, like the life that we have now together and the career that we have now together, we built together from the beginning. And that is a very different feeling to me than what you're describing of meeting, you know, since you met your wife a little bit, not later in later in life compared to me, which was super early in life. But
Oh yeah, my
that's
ass
such a
was like
different
the Beverly Hillbillies moving into her whole jam, you know?
Yeah.
Pull on with a big truck and
I
the
love it.
ropes and
Yeah. So I feel like the ways that we're compatible and the way that my wife and I are compatible are because we've like,
Yeah.
it's like plants growing together toward the sun or whatever. You just kind of get all intertwined in the end, and it's hard to remember where each person stops and the next one
Yeah. How many kids do you have?
begins. We have 2 kids,
You have a 10-year-old and
7.
and a 7.
Yeah.
Boys.
Nice.
2 boys. Yeah.
Oh,
I
she
have
has 2
2
boys.
Very
It's
sweet.
something.
I have a
It's
10-year-old
something.
girl though. Just one.
Yeah,
It is something.
it is something.
does the younger boy have like a little evil glint in his eyes?
No, he's got stuff, but not evil. he's. I want to say he's the swaggiest person I've ever met.
Oh,
Whoa.
that's fun.
Yeah,
He's 5 and so swaggy.
Wow.
he's the swaggiest. Yeah, and
Does
the
he do
older one-
sports?
They're both in baseball and soccer,
Mm-hmm.
and I don't think it's like a natural thing for either of them, but we just keep trying it. You know,
Yeah.
Sports?
so we're gonna try
Is it like
music
singing?
next.
Is it like singing?
Yeah, we're gonna start Elliot, and we just got a drum set, so he's gonna start
Oh,
the
geez.
drums.
That's great. I
know.
recommend what we did. We put the drum set in our bedroom.
Oh, no. Ours is in our garage, like civilized humans.
What happened?
Oh dear.
There was literally no other place to put the drum kit in the house.
Okay.
So it's in our bedroom.
That
Currently?
is
Presently.
Presently. Kids drum kit in.
that is a
bedroom.
commitment.
Hopefully he's not like me. I have a terrible memory. Well, I have actually a very strange memory. I have a really good memory for certain things, but then I can't remember like important things from 9 months ago
Yeah.
or my childhood. But I do remember one time my dad came in on a weekday really pissed that I was playing drums at 2 a.m. in the house.
How old were you?
Probably like
30.
14 or 15.
Okay. Yeah.
Just
30.
so hopefully they don't do that. Yeah. I mean, I was also doing it then. Oh, that's so sad. Or actually, I always have pride about that.
What was your parents' support like as far as the music goes?
Oh yeah, well, 100. Just all it was all there, but
Yeah.
they started it. Like I played the cello from age 4. I was like a little itty bitty guy
with a big
with
old
a tiny
cello.
no,
Oh,
it's a tiny cello
oh, okay.
too. I'll show you a
Aw.
picture. It's very cute. But it started then and never stopped. And then for my dad was this guy that like got kicked out when he was 18 and put himself through medical school, like like as an American a story as far as like a self-made person could be. And I think that I learned like too late to make this pleasant, but I finally got through my head that the only thing he took from all of that was it like set up a binary thing in his brain that just my kids have to go to college. That's it. And like, I think part of him was like, I did all of that so that you had the opportunity to do that. That's your responsibility to me. So I took 7 years to go through college and almost
did
dropped
it.
out a few times and did it whatever. But
We just showed my kids Tommy Boy the other night. He goes,
Not
lots of
so
people
much.
take 7 years to go to college. And do you remember what David Spade says in response?
No.
He goes, yeah, they're called doctors.
That is one of my all-time. That's a good one.
I never seen my kid laugh so hard at a movie as
Really?
at Tommy Boy. I couldn't believe it. He was like in
Ten's the
pain.
age.
Oh, that's
my
good.
Pain
god!
is
It's
the
because
age.
it's
Show
the
it.
best
It's the
movie there
best.
is.
It's the best.
We always
is
are.
one of the
It's so
great.
interesting because my husband he went to medical school and he grew up like blue collar. You go to school, you get a degree, you become a doctor. That's it.
that's it.
So now we went to this school where they're like, you spend a year, focus on one thing you've always wanted to do and never done. He picked up the guitar at like 40 something. He was like, I want to learn to play the guitar. So now on the other side of it, he doesn't care about school. He's like, all I want is for you guys to be expressed and like, sure, go to school and all of that. And I'm the opposite. Like, I didn't go to school. So I'm like, you go to school.
Right.
You know?
That's so funny.
I know, it's interesting. So now he's the one that's like drums, piano,
Right.
guitar. Like, what is it? What do you want to express? And I'm like, and keep your grades up, you know?
It's really
But it's
funny.
interesting
Yeah.
that yours was the opposite in a sense, right?
Totally, or the same, just
Or the same.
different. Yeah,
Yeah.
because I think your husband's doing with your kids what he essentially did. Like that was the main thing, but also, like he was rightfully pissed when I was banging on the drums at 2 a.m. when he had to go to the
course.
hospital the next
Yeah.
day. But our entire lives were built around our extracurricular activities and
Activities.
interests and
Amazing.
artistic expression and all of that. Like
Not
full
me.
stop.
My life was built around going to school.
Was it?
Yes.
Mm.
And
the
so
Brentwood way.
That's it. The Brentwood way. Not so Eagle Rock of them.
yeah. Yeah, and then so when I was finishing college and was just going to keep going to school because that was the only thing I ever really knew was like the thing you were supposed to do. I was very, very surprised when my parents came to visit me once during my senior year of college, and I said I was going to go to graduate school. I had been a psychology major, so I was going to keep going, go to graduate school, neuroscience. And they were like, are you sure? Like, that's what you want to do? And I was like, yeah, what, you know.
Right.
And then by the next time they came up, my friends who I was in a band with had like convinced me to take a year and try and be a singer-songwriter because they thought the songs that I was writing were good. And so my parents were up the next time and I said, actually, I think I'm going to try and do music for a year. And they were like, yes, that's awesome. That's exactly what we think you should do. And I was like, really? Not the graduate
You're
school?
like, not neuroscience? Like,
Yeah. Because just my whole life had been going toward that.
yeah.
And, but so they were super supportive, but not, I guess, they were just waiting for me to figure it out.
Come to it on your own.
Yeah.
So interesting. I love hearing the parenting aspect because you're like, how did it come to be? Right? Like some parents are really heavy-handed in their choices and some are free with it.
I'm free with it.
I'm free with it.
What does your daughter get up to?
Everything.
Everything?
Yes. She wants to do everything and
Right.
try everything. And you know what? She does.
And she does.
Yeah.
Great.
Great.
Very busy.
So
Very busy household. So
Isn't it?
busy.
There's
I can't.
so many things.
So many things. We
Do you
were just
guys do
talking
the
about it.
sports in Sherman Oaks?
Mm-hmm.
Are you at this Little League?
Mm-hmm.
So are we.
You are.
Yes.
I took some time off from our band to be in my wife's band.
Oh,
And
your wife's. What's
yeah,
your wife's band?
she's awesome. She's called Vera Sola, and she makes awesome music. Your
Yes.
people will listen. You'll love it. But the point of the story is I went to do that, and I was worried that Joey would be upset by the time commitment that it took away from our endeavor. But really, all it did was give him the time to become
Little.
the Little League instructor, the Travel League Little League instructor, the All-Star Travel League. He's got he wears the cleats and the pants, and he's
Oh,
like,
you're full on.
Oh, you're reffing? Are you doing...
no, he's
the
just a
coach?
professional children's ball league coach.
That's what they're called.
Children's Ball League.
Yeah, children's
Are you?
ball league.
Are you a
coach.
coach?
I am a coach.
See,
Wow.
he
I
was
got-
trying to
I
deny
got-
it, but
No,
we
you
got
just
him there.
you don't have to wear cleats.
But
You have to wear all
That's
that.
where he
It's
draws
not
the
called
line.
Children's Ball League.
But you would wear the cleats if given the opportunity.
One of the
He
four of
plays-
us doesn't have children, and you can tell by the way he calls it Children's Ball
Ball
League.
Do you wear the cleats in the adult baseball league that you play
I
in
also
now?
play baseball myself,
subsequently, after
for
having
which-
the free time
For which you have to wear
to
the cleats.
cultivate.
but,
Yes,
Yeah.
You guys are
I
now.
got
You're
very
going to see
into.
each other at baseball, and you're going
Yeah.
to see each other at Erewhon.
That's
Amazing.
it. That's
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
incredible.
Yeah. I got
learned
into
so much.
coaching the kids because we were too late signing up one year.
This is what
For
I
the
hear
league.
happen.
Yeah, and then they said you
Oh,
can
that's a
get in.
loophole?
Yeah,
If
you
you
can get in
coach.
off the wait list if you coach. And then I totally fell in love with it, and I love being a coach.
That's
That's
really
So it's
cute.
been like 4 or 5 seasons now
Oh,
of
wow.
doing the baseball coaching.
Oh, you're deep in it. And do they
That's
both
really
play?
cool.
Now the younger one is just starting.
I have a question, and I don't mean this
But
the
I
way
love it.
that you think that I would ask this. I mean this in earnestness. So just don't be defensive.
Okay, well, I won't be defensive.
Would you be as into it if
You didn't
your
have
son
children.
Yeah.
No, because from what I understand, his elder son is very good at baseball.
God,
Like is the best one reliably on the teams that he plays on. Blah blah blah. I'm asking, would you be as interested if
If he was.
he didn't like really excel at it?
That's a good question. One of the reasons I got so into it was because he got so into it, and it was so fun to do together with him in particular. But in the beginning, it was his first time playing, and he wasn't particularly
Right.
excelling, and I still got really into it just for its own sake. But for sure, a huge part of it is like, doing it with your own kid, and and so if he doesn't love it and want to do it all the time, then
But
I'm
that
sure,
could be
I'm
why.
sure it wouldn't have gone.
Because we'll like be about to go on stage, and he'll call up and have his wife and his son on the phone, telling them about the like exercises that he has to do to make sure his arm doesn't get injured, and like
Is he a pitcher?
yeah.
Yes.
And Joey's wife is going through it like
Your deliveries
Yes.
is the best.
Joey's wife is like very responsibly going through it, but also there's a subtext to her voice that's like, I can't believe that I'm having to spend my time to make sure that our young son
Yeah.
is doing like graduate level exercises to make sure that which is of course
Shoulder
great parenting.
stays in place.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is
Listen.
great parenting, but
Tendonitis is a thing. You know what I mean? Especially
No
for a
doubt.
pitcher.
It's a thing. Yeah. So we become a total baseball family, including my wife got totally sucked into it, where like we'll come home from wherever we're at, which is probably a baseball practice, and she'll just be sitting on the couch with like a glass of wine watching the Dodger game by herself.
Yeah.
That's so
And I'm like, you're worse
cute.
than we are at this point.
It pulls you in.
I love baseball's fun, especially this season.
It's the
'cause
best.
The Dodgers won, but
'Cause
it's
we
the
won.
best. I took my daughter to her first Dodger game, which is weird because we're a big sports family for my dad, and she loved it.
It's fun.
It's so fun.
It's the best. Dodger Stadium is definitely one of our happy places in LA.
It's so fun.
Yeah.
It's really
She
cool.
was like, I had ice cream in a helmet. Like, yes, you did.
Dodger Stadium is so much more expensive than Erewhon.
Is it?
Definitely.
What?
Is
I don't think
anything more
anywhere is
expensive
as
than
Yeah,
Erewhon?
that's not true.
Come on, the ballpark? What do you pay for at the ball? You can't go to the ballpark unless you're independently wealthy, no?
The ballpark.
The
You-
ballpark?
You obviously haven't been to the ballpark in a while.
Yeah, I was like, is this true?
Ballpark.
I mean, I don't know if that's true.
I would not characterize most of the fans at Dodger Stadium as independently wealthy.
True, but don't you think they're spending a pretty penny?
It depends what
even
section you
those
sit
out,
in.
Out
Yeah.
the pavilion seats.
Oh, well, I mean, if you're talking,
I mean, there's a lot of seats.
there's a variation in
52,000.
independence.
We
there.
go at the last second. I don't buy the tickets until we're in the parking lot.
That's
Are you serious?
Joey's
Yeah.
thing.
Really?
Yeah.
What does that do for you?
They're so cheap.
He goes on StubHub.
You go on SeatGeek or whatever, like when you get
Oh.
there.
I don't know if you should give away your secrets.
I'm here for everyone
You're
can
here for the people?
giving out the hot tips.
That's definitely way too risky. Has it
Said
ever
it right into the
backfired?
camera.
I know you
Oh.
did. He like
Dang.
looked deadpan and was like,
Has it backfired?
tips.
Have you
What?
got there and then
and it's not work.
it's so
No.
expensive you have to go home, or you just feel like your plan
You just
didn't
have
work?
to pay
No,
extra
I feel like you
because
guys are gonna have to edit a lot of this part out. But
What?
no, if you have to keep track of the game you're going to, like in the days leading up to it.
Oh no!
this
to
is a
know that-
commitment.
yeah.
This is too much of a commitment for me.
You can tell when the games are not like going to be that well attended, and then the prices will collapse right before the game.
I see. So what
Okay.
are we talking? Like how much per ticket?
Well, it depends on the game.
Give an example.
Like I've sat in the front row of the field level for like $40 before.
What?
Yeah. The last if it's a game
that's
nobody
weird.
wants to go to and it's
Okay.
30 minutes before the game,
Did you go to any of the World Series?
That's like one meal at Air
not
One.
the World Series.
True, that's
One
a chicken
lunch.
combo.
Playoff,
Yeah.
though.
Yes,
We
it's a
we were at
chicken
game 5 of the Padres series, which was the craziest sporting event I ever been to. Unbelievable.
That's so fun.
Did you go?
Not during the playoffs.
Yeah.
No.
But we went this season.
We'll be there again.
It's gonna
Yeah.
happen.
But I will
I'm
say
so
one of the
excited
kids,
we all started talking about baseball
one
so
of the
much.
kids on Shepherd, my son's team, dressed up as Freddie Freeman and got to run into him trick-or-treating.
Trick-or-treating.
No way.
Yeah,
I
and
think
got
we
the picture.
know that person.
Do you?
Yeah,
dressed
because
up as Freddie
no, but my
Freeman?
nieces and nephew are in Studio City, and they came home after Halloween, and they said our friend was dressed up as Freddie Freeman, and they saw Freddie Freeman.
Yeah,
the
I
same
mean, there
person.
might have been more.
Person.
There might have been more than one, but not that many.
No, it's
No,
probably them.
it was
Yeah.
it was them.
That's so funny.
Yeah.
You guys,
Yeah.
there's so much connecting
Studio
happening.
City.
Studio City.
Wait, that
Yeah.
person was your child.
No,
Not my
it was
child.
his
Oh.
friend
His friend
A
from
friend's
his league.
I see.
from your league.
That kid's
Well, no,
so
his
famous
team. His
in this
you know,
his
moment.
team.
Yeah, he got real famous. And the mom, she brought little Dodger cupcakes the next day. It was like a whole movement.
Wow.
It was fun.
Wow.
It was exciting.
It was very exciting.
It was so exciting. And then we were watching it, and one of the other moms was like, wait, that video of him he posted is at my house. And it was like all really exciting for the team. They were like feeling it.
Mm-hmm.
That was very cute.
Speaking of feeling it, will you guys sing us a song?
Mm.
Play us a song.
Of course. What a
will?
segue.
She's good, right?
Wasn't that good?
That was fantastic.
It's like you've never done this before.
Would you like to hear holiday songs?
I would love to
We're
hear
gonna do
Holiday.
that.
Holiday songs?
Do you know
What?
what my favorite song is?
Oh.
North Country Road.
Oh.
Oh,
That's my favorite.
great.
But
Let's
we
play
want to
that.
hear the
What do you
Christmas
feel?
album.
No, let's play that.
Yeah, that's a
Wait,
great reason
Yeah.
to play that.
You have?
Do you love that one?
Do we have 15 minutes?
Yeah.
Yes.
I'll have to remember it.
'Cause
I
that's
love
a
that
long
song.
guy.
You know, we've written hundreds
We
of
have
songs
3
in our
hours.
career, and it's really hard. I've also reached a point in life that so much of music was a means to an end, and it was really confusing what I was supposed to do, I guess. And then, especially after he and I had success, but I think just as a function of aging, it's a lot easier to arrive at a point where you get there and then you go, oh, I have nothing important to say. I guess I won't do this today. Whereas that's not what would happen when I was 24. When I was 24, you'd have to do something just so that you had something to work with. And so that was actually one of the record that you listened to at the dentist. That was a kind of a return to form for me and Joey, which was like, yeah, well, it was like 12 years into our career. We were trying to figure out like, how do we do this again and make it feel good or feel like it felt that long ago when it was kind of second nature then. And not that we'd done a few that didn't achieve that, but just I think both arrived at another point in life where it's like, okay, like what rises to the occasion of write a song about it or try to emote something about it. And so a lot of that record, we made an entire record that was trash and we threw away because I think it was absent a lot of that. And the real key in the end was just trying to find songs that we could connect with in a way that I think maybe it's changing every day what you connect with, especially as a writer or just as a person, how you want to spend your emotional energy or how you want to spend your time. And so I think when we finally cracked the code on that album, it was that we both were able to acknowledge like the point at which songs meant something to us in that project. And so that song I wrote for my wife's uncle who passed away, who we were really close to, and it's kind of a whole sad story. But like I wrote it for Uncle Peter, and it was like the craziest one was who did we open for at Red Rocks? Watch House. We went and played right after kind of the pandemic. People started doing things together. Our friends that have a band called Watch House that were called Mandolin Orange before that, they had this show on sale in Colorado like all through the pandemic. And when it got time to do the show, they were like, we expected to sell like so fewer tickets to this, but it was like it kept getting delayed and it was on sale for like 2 years, and so they sold all 10,000 tickets at Red Rocks. And then because of COVID, the Tallest Man on Earth was supposed to open for them and he couldn't get a visa like a week before, and so they asked us to come fill in for him.
What if people listening don't know that that's a band.
The tallest.
This is just a super tall guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a
and
super tall guy.
That's why he couldn't get the visa too.
You're too tall.
He
Yeah.
couldn't get on the plane.
Yeah.
Too tall for this
In
plane.
these uncertain times, we just can't take a chance on someone that tall
Yeah,
getting on
an
the plane right
Oh
after
my God.
COVID.
yeah.
All of this to say, we had never played Red Rocks before, and it
Yeah.
was the most magical thing because it's 10,000 people there for this quiet
Right.
acoustic band. If we were opening for Jason Isbell, nobody would care because they'd be, waiting for
Reading,
something else.
yeah.
But it was all these sad people ready for sad, slow music in the mountains, and we played this hour-long set to 10,000 people in the most majestic place, and no joke. Right as we hit the double chorus in North Country Ride, I was looking at 10,000 people, and Joey was right here. And behind everybody, I was the only one that could see it. Uncle Peter showed up, the craziest shooting star I've ever seen, like a full 2 seconds across the whole
Oh
sky.
my God.
And I remember in that moment, I was like, damn. And that's why I wrote the song,
Oh my God.
because you can bring them back
Oh,
for
wow.
a second,
That's beautiful.
Or like you put a thing,
Yeah.
I don't know, it's like a photograph or something.
Yeah.
Just with different medium, not
Wow.
light. And, well, I guess in that case it was light too. But
Did you didn't see it? You
Uncle
missed,
Peter?
Yeah, you missed
flying,
Uncle Peter.
flying through the sky.
Yeah.
I didn't catch that.
wow,
Wow.
that skeptical Brentwood.
Yeah,
that
over there.
Yeah,
I
that-
do
looking
have
down his nose.
3 favorites
My-
from the album, but that was the first one. But he told that story, so you
What
know,
are the other ones? Because if there's another
It's
Running
just
on
that my
Sweet
background in
Smile.
neuroscience tells me that there could be some other explanations.
I'm with you.
For what
Oh,
Kenneth
why
saw.
that happened.
100%.
Yeah.
It was Uncle Peter.
Joey's no fun at a
No,
party.
You could feel it.
He just
No,
talks about.
I'm with you. It was definitely Uncle
Yeah.
Peter. 100%.
Joey talks about baseball and physics.
He's like, physically, the asteroids on the
Yeah.
comets.
It's a much higher likelihood that it was merely a coincidence.
I don't buy it. I don't buy it.
We don't know.
No, I
we don't
believe it was
subscribe to
Uncle
that
Peter too. There's no
mentality.
coincidences.
Yeah, it was Uncle Peter.
Mhm.
Running on Sweet Smile, North Country Ride, and Star Shine.
Oh, you got one. That's good.
I was like, please let me say one that you wrote.
She's like, oh.
I better cover her.
Well, that's why I was
But
asked.
those
Oh,
are like
you
the
know.
3 that
Three
I've
for
listened to
three.
the most
We
off
don't
that
keep
album.
track of that stuff anymore. Who wrote
How
which
ironic.
one?
Starshine.
Yeah.
I
Shoot
know.
it in that one,
Oh.
you know?
I don't know. This guy's
All comes
way
full circle.
more soft than he, puts on. He wants
Yeah.
to believe in the metaphysical as well.
Yeah. Who doesn't?
Well, just on a serious note, you, of all people, have had meaningful emotional experiences that cannot be explained by science.
That's my favorite.
Eh?
But he tries.
That's code for Joey did lots of drugs in his earlier years.
Oh, okay. Got it.
What's non-scientific about that?
That's scientific.
I guess so. It was self-experimentation.
Yeah. No, it's true. I'm constantly struggling against my own hyper-rational impulses.
This is what he talks to his dad about at length.
Oh, I love that.
They just go around in
Is he
circles.
too?
What? No, he's not struggling against them.
No.
He just lives with them. But I've
does that
in my
mean?
life encountered people like dear Kenneth here who,
I gotta give
pushed
Matt-
me out of my
I
comfort
gotta give
zone.
Matt a call. We gotta ask him about blood on tracks.
Yep.
On the blood on the
Oh, yeah.
tracks, and then I've got to ask him why he's so comfortable with all of
Yeah.
his. Yeah.
No, he's a deeply spiritual guy as well.
Mm.
But-
Yeah, and I don't think
But he craves order like I do.
Mm.
I think
Craves
both
order.
can exist at the same time. Isn't that religion?
Yeah. Yeah. Trying to make sense of the madness.
You want both. You want
Right.
the order and the expansion,
Mm.
right? I
Yeah.
think they go together.
I have a different opinion specifically on this one.
Uh-oh.
Well, no, only because I share it, but I
We
had
just made a religious album.
Yeah, you did.
So now we're going to get asked about this a lot, I think.
no, I had cancer 7 years ago,
Oh my
thyroid
goodness.
cancer,
Oh, wow.
and it compared to other people's cancer, like way less of a physical burden.
Your
Yeah, I can.
cancer's not a competition.
Cancer is not a competition, but I mean to point it out this way, which is that I downplayed the emotional impact for so long because it was seemingly like less threatening or just not as extra an experience. And then one day that came around and like fully leveled me. And yeah, it turned me into a different person. And I know your dad has had like very significant health experiences in that way, that one of the things that it brought about in me is just I think it answered a lot of those questions that people are struggling with. Like in my experience, it was like a humbling thing, like the most humbling thing that you have to, or I've had to come to terms with the fact that like things are going to happen and you aren't in control of them ever. And that has become a thing that has, in many ways, like given me peace in life that I never had, and I'm really grateful for. But I have actually shared that kinship with your dad a number of times through a number of conversations, and I wouldn't be surprised if that was one of the things that set you apart. What? You're looking at me in a funny way.
No, that'll change your life real quick.
Yeah.
I mean, I can't speak from experience, but it has to, right?
Well, it answers some of the questions that everybody seems to be really preoccupied with.
What is a book someone just recommended to me? I have not started reading. Is it The Denial of Death?
I don't know.
It's supposed to be incredible, but I think it speaks to those bigger questions, and that we're all kind of, a lot of us are blind to until we're faced with those situations.
Yeah.
I relate to what you're saying through the lens of first having kids and then COVID happening, in terms of like just being completely the shock to the system of that. There are things that are literally outside of you and totally beyond your control that can all go completely wrong at any time. And so the clarifying thing of it, of what is important in your life and in life in general, and the questions that maybe aren't so important,
Right.
that are more abstract or whatever. But just the idea of it just made me much more present. Those two things, having like the most important things in my life be outside of me and beyond my control, kind of not for the first time, but having that realization that that's how the life is. It was very clarifying.
It's actually a similar surrender.
Yeah, totally a feeling of surrender, and then presentness. And
Do you know one of the
being in the
funniest
moment.
iterations, or the one that delights me the most, iterations of that in my life, is that, you know how some days, like, you got the whole day, and then some days just end at 12:45? Yes. And there was never a me that would like be able to wrap my head around that or accept that. And now I'm a person that when it comes up and the day's over, I'm like, okay. I can go home. Could just cancel it all, go home. Yeah. We'll play it again tomorrow.
What do you mean the day ends at 12:45?
Well, like, how is that possible?
Sometimes it ends at 2:15.
Clearly the day goes.
Well, no, it's especially like, it's actually been especially helpful in the creative world, because working on music, it's different, I think, in film or in group, like larger group creative enterprises. Music, you're like trying to bottle magic 3 minutes at a time. And like, sometimes that's all it takes. There's songs that we play every night for over a decade now that like the idea came in 45 minutes. It was recorded. It's done. Like the actual time spent putting this thing into existence is so minimal that like you can't really understand it to be anything other than magic or some kind of channeling or some kind of other thing that we don't know about. And
well, creativity is pretty much just different areas of your brain communicating with each other in novel ways.
But why does it open up at some points more than others?
I don't know. I was just
At certain
kidding.
I don't
times.
know. He's so
channeling.
dry. Yeah.
I
But-
think it's magic too.
I do. Yeah, it has to be.
But the point being is that sometimes you go into work, which our work is a recording studio in North Hollywood. Sometimes you go in and do that. And I mean this also on non-musical days. Sometimes you wind up the machine and you give it about 45 minutes and then you're cooked.
Mm-hmm.
You're like, emotionally, I have nothing left. I can't push through this thing. And lots of times in my life, that would feel like not just failure, but something to push past. Sometimes it is something to push past. But I don't think it was until the last few years that I understood, like, sometimes that was the end.
You're allowed to let it rest.
Yeah.
And like,
And just like sometimes the day ends at
Yeah.
12:45, Joey, and like there's lots of things on the to-do list, but if you're going to be kind to yourself, you actually cut your losses and you go home and you say today wasn't meant to have anything else in it.
Yeah, I feel you. That is the life we lead. But I also live with someone who's an attorney, and if she was sitting here, she'd be like, "Fuck you," because the day does not end just because I want it to or feel gassed or whatever. Like,
I know, I get
these
it.
people just push through.
yeah,
I know.
People.
I'm not
my,
built for
my
it.
beloved wife.
everybody's
I know.
built different. I listen to Esther Hicks, who's a great spiritual teacher, and she constantly, people come to her with these questions of what do I do if I have writer's block? What do I do if I feel, stuck? And she's like, take a nap. Rest.
Take a nap.
Yeah.
Take a nap. And they're like in the middle of the day, she's like, please rest. Allow it to let it go and let yourself come back to. And so I take that note.
That's beautiful.
I'm like, I'll take a nap.
You know what my wife's motto is? Weekdays are for suffering.
Oh God. Really?
Yeah,
Oh, no.
We say it around the house as kind of a joke, but like if I suggest like let's go for a walk around the neighborhood in the middle of the day, like clear your head, she'll be like, it's Wednesday.
I love it.
It's really funny.
But you're right. It's
We-
like you said, there are different people. I mean, people are different.
people are different.
And it's so true because like what you're talking about, as far as everything I know about it, like there's actual behavior that's just off limits to you as an addict. Like if you didn't recognize some of those things, like you would fall into a pattern of just like
Addiction
self-harm
seeking.
behavior and
Yeah.
addiction, like that you wouldn't be able to see the forest from the trees. And like other people aren't wired that way. Some people don't have that disease. There's, I'm sure, a continuum, but like people are just different.
True.
Mm-hmm.
100%.
They really are. And we have to show up different.
I say that to my daughter every day, just with anything, conflict, whatever. It's like, people are different. Guys,
They sure are.
this is a slogan. We just
People
came up
are
with
different.
something pretty incredible.
And weekdays are for suffering.
And
Weekdays are
You
for
know?
suffering.
That's some shit right there.
I love
I
it.
say it in my head to the rhythm and melody of "Every Day I'm Hustling."
Yeah. Weekdays are for suffering.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly, and I'm gonna make T-shirts.
I like
oh my
it.
God. And you guys are going to now cover that song,
Yeah.
Yeah,
but in your way.
Yeah. I think that weekends
There's
are
a
in
whole
my
other
The sad
world.
album
version,
here.
yeah.
Of like the sad version of all of these songs.
Oh,
Do you
Joey
cover
was
any
trying to do
Mariah
that.
Carey in the Christmas album?
no, the only sort of like holiday-y ones that we ended up doing. What?
Holiday.
Yeah, you answered
We
the
did all
question
the very-
so earnestly. That's
we did-
great.
Yeah.
Oh, was it a joke?
No,
No, I
it's
mean-
logic. It's
Sometimes I don't pick up on these.
No,
Yeah.
she really did it with Christmas. So I'm,
I have to admit, it crossed my mind at some point in the beginning that we would do.
Her song?
What is her mega one?
All I
All
Want.
I
All I
Want
Want
for
is
all I want for
Christmas.
Christmas.
Yeah, that we would do that. And we just didn't. We got through all the like churchy, beautiful, Baroque sounding ones. And then we also did Have Yourself a Merry Little Christmas and I'll Be Home for Christmas. And other than those two, they're all like super churchy, like hymnal sounding ones.
You came to break our hearts.
Yes.
Yeah.
Christmas in a minor
Christmas.
Well,
key.
you know what? Like all of, I feel like all of art is about limitations. And one of our follies has always, as I think not, well, one of the successes of our band is that we've always been limited. We just have 2 guitars and we sing harmony, and we think that we're like larger than that or something. And so there's something in that like inherent struggle that I feel like we always felt identified part of our sound. The Christmas album, for me, very intentionally, and we spoke about this, I don't know how much of it he internalized, was that I really wanted to make something that was just fully in the holiday canon. And so I wanted to try to take away some of that inherent tension. Like, there's a part of our like fan base that really loves my guitar playing because it's frankly a little weird. Like, it gets dissonant often. It's not very like slick and clean, but then sometimes it's fat. It's like the other things that grab people's attention, but it's kind of unique, but it's like you have to wrap your head around it. In fact, we learned that in the beginning of our band, we have to put my guitar up as loud as both of our voices, because if it's any lower, it just sounds like somebody's making a bunch of mistakes. Whereas if you put it up with the voices,
just more volume.
Yeah.
well, yeah, when you put it up
that's
there,
cool.
it's like, oh no, actually this person's doing all of this stuff in reaction to the voices, and that's the only place that makes sense. But so on this album, I really wanted it to be something that somebody could put on December 18th and like bliss out to, and not be like, what's that weird guitar note? Or like, what's that guy doing to this song? And so the limitation was to try to take a little bit of our stuff out of it and just honor these songs that are like some of the greatest songs. Like, I don't know, just on a musical level, for anybody that's studied music, you sit down, like the writing of them, they're like Mozart level writing.
Perfect.
Yeah, they're just,
Masterpieces.
they really are. And it was
Some
like,
of them are so short, we found out.
there's that too.
Like they just have one little arc of an idea, and then it repeats again.
That's it.
And that was it. That's it.
So much feeling.
That's all you need out of me. If only Paul Simon didn't write the 3rd verse to Bridge Over Troubled Water. Like, had he taken the note from the Christmas songs, we wouldn't have had this superfluous silver hair verse that makes no sense.
Superfluous.
It's like a perfect song.
Bridge
up
Over
until that
Troubled
one.
Water? You're giving notes on Bridge Over Troubled Water?
I don't know how I feel about
I know. I'm like,
that.
I don't think I can talk.
I'm like,
now.
I'm nodding no.
You guys can edit, right?
Yeah, we can.
Leave it in there. Who cares?
You have a right to
Paul
your
Simon.
opinion.
Should we
I
play,
feel like we
should
did it
play a
right.
song? We
Yeah,
had a
let's
song
do it.
request 30 minutes ago.
Yeah. I just think that we earned the right, because last year we lost
To
our
criticize.
Grammy to Joni Mitchell, but we technically beat Paul Simon. So then
Wait,
you can
what?
give
That
him,
is
yeah.
Wait, you what now?
We
Sorry,
were
what?
minute.
The Dentist album was nominated for Best Folk Album at the Grammys last year.
Woo!
And we didn't have a chance because Joni Mitchell was in the category, so Joni won. But we definitely beat Paul Simon.
How do you
so-
know that though?
Well, they called and told us.
Did they?
Joey's shaking.
I mean, that's a flex. Beat Paul Simon in full.
Like you came in second?
Well, they don't say who gets second to
That's
sixth,
just who
but
I think they
she got
decided.
first, and
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure we got second. I would
Okay.
assume he got third.
They didn't tell us we
Do
didn't
you
get
hate
second.
Paul Simon?
I love Paul Simon. Paul Simon also writes songs like that. It's fucked up, like the Christmas songs.
Love Paul Simon.
Like they fell out of the ceiling of music, but then there's the silver hair verse.
Take
He's
that.
like, let us play
Take
this
that, Paul
song.
Simon.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's someone who you want to go after.
Paul Simon needs a little humility. No.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah, really. I think I'm in tune now. Does that sound right?
Mm-hmm.
Are we recording? Oh yeah. 2, 3. Down past the aspirations, Let's take the North Country ride, where it stays light so far into the night. We'll keep the moon in our eyes, breathe the ions till everything feels alright. Right round the bend, your weeds growing tall, I see in the end your path after all. Let's take the North Country ride, where it stays light so far into the night. We'll keep the moon in our eyes, breathe the ions till everything feels alright. I know how hard it is to fight with the whole of the world. I know the scars. You have the most beautiful scars. Out on the dock, so gray and so cold, there goes off the rock a life I know and I love. Let's take the North Country ride, where it stays light so far into the night. We'll keep our eyes on the prize, breathe the ions till everything feels alright. Let's take the North Country
Oh, it's so beautiful.
Oh, it's so.
Oh my goodness.
You know what's so beautiful is I'm like, it's so amazing that you guys can do that, and that's never been done. You know, I'm like, how has that not
like,
been?
how has someone else not figured that out?
Yeah. And it's
very
and
cool.
What do you mean?
Like, no one's made that song before.
No
Oh, that
one's
song,
made that
right.
song, that exact song.
The
Like, there's
melody,
only so
everything.
many chords and notes and words, and that's never been done before.
I feel that way every time I hear a new song. That's really
Yeah, you're
great,
like, how?
great
Yeah.
point.
Yeah, I'm
Like
like,
there's
how?
Every
people
time.
have been doing it for
Every
so
time.
long.
It's so beautiful. Ugh.
Sometimes it feels that way when you're writing them. You're like, oh shit, that somebody wrote that song. I can't do it.
Yeah.
Well, and
this
the flip
before.
side for me, the dark side of that is literally, maybe you feel this way with creative things, but anytime I write a song, I don't know how it happened, and I feel confident that it will never happen again.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
That's her talking.
That's me talking.
She'll say like really profound things, and then it will never happen again.
It'll never happen in quite the same
It
way.
seems like it will never happen.
Yes.
again.
No,
Yeah.
but in creative things,
Yeah.
when you hit on something and then you're like, I don't know where that came
Yeah.
from, and I don't know how to get it back.
Yep.
Yep.
That to me is my actual favorite part. It was the part I dreaded the most early on because I thought that you had to know how to
Get
repeat that
there. Yeah.
to be able to go do it for people and to charge money. But then actually it turns out that people aren't that discerning. If they're there paying money, they're there for a different thing. And if you're there just opening the channel, whatever comes out is actually going to satisfy that if you can accept that part of yourself.
Which can be hard to accept, right?
So hard.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you're just staring in the mirror. And I don't really know anybody who likes
No.
staring in the mirror.
No.
That's
There's a
not
few
a
people.
pleasant thing.
I think there's a couple. I think that's a mental disorder, though, right?
Well, definitely something happened in their childhood.
They're just different.
We can
They're just
unpack
different.
that.
Yeah.
People are different.
Yeah.
That was incredible. I love beautiful
Incredible.
scars. I'm like,
I know you have the most beautiful scars. That
Oh,
always
yeah.
gets me.
Mhm.
Ugh.
That's
He did.
Yeah.
He read QAnon pages and stuff.
oh
No.
oh okay.
No,
We're going
I mean,
in a different direction. Okay.
no, I mean, Uncle Peter had some beautiful scars. And
Yeah.
some of those scars, I think, led him to be susceptible to conspiracy theories. And
You know what's interesting? To
other
this day,
things.
I know I've known that this song
oh yeah, you
was
never met
about
Uncle Peter.
Uncle
did you?
Peter for many years, but to this day, I it means something different to me.
Oh yeah. Well, that's the other beautiful part about songs
Yeah.
Yeah.
is that
Like it was just a little bit jarring for me to hear you talk about specifically with that line
That it was cute.
to remind me that it's about
QAnon.
Uncle Peter.
well, and
I'm with
also
you.
Like
that-
I'm gonna fight that
Yeah.
one off. In
Yeah.
my
We're gonna shake that
subconscious.
one off and
Yeah.
let
Yeah.
it mean what it means to all of
Yeah.
us
well,
individually.
totally, and you can fight that up because those weren't Uncie's most beautiful scars. The ones that I've
We don't want to
assumed
know physical.
We
Yeah.
don't want to know anymore.
Don't need to know.
We're done with that.
that- I can't redeem myself.
Moving on.
Damn.
No,
All
we're
right,
good.
moving on.
Let's go to
Yeah,
the.
that's something totally different to me, and I'm gonna keep.
Yeah, we're
I'm
gonna
gonna
all
right.
keep it
Go
where
with what I thought originally.
Yeah.
This is why
I agree with me.
when we started our band, there were a few band rules. Because have you been to the Hotel Cafe in Hollywood? That's where both of us kind of came up, and we're doing our solo shows and all that. And I went and saw one of his shows, and I loved it, and then met him, and then we started our band, whatever. But when we started, there were a few rules, and the first one was Joey put on some shoes because he would wear flip-flops.
I thought you were
While
going to say
performing.
barefoot, which
He's come a long way.
I
Barefoot would be
appreciate.
better.
Still got Crocs.
Socks and Crocs.
He has the
Still got
Crocs.
Even
Crocs
Listen.
and Crocs. But then the second rule was stop talking about what the song is about right before you play the song. Because I sat in the audience and he had these beautiful songs, and then he would tell a story contextualizing them, and he did to me exactly what I just did to
Yeah.
you guys.
Right.
He told me, like, listen to this song about a pair of speakers I bought at Best Buy, And then he plays this really deep emotional song. I'm like, that's not what that song's about. And you're totally shooting yourself in the foot.
Because we can take it however.
We can take it however.
People like
That's
to
what happens
personalize
with
songs.
good songs.
That's the beauty of it.
Yeah.
Well, what I've had to learn, and now we do a songwriting camp every summer now. Sad Song Summer Camp.
Seriously?
Yeah, you should come.
I
Actually,
would
you
love
both should
to.
No,
come.
I'm there.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
And
I'm not even joking.
one of the master classes that we deign to teach is called How to Be Funny or at least Not Be Boring Between Songs. And we talk about our various rules of like stage banter and stuff. And I've learned through teaching other people or just like telling about our own process that it's both true and not true that song is about Kenneth's wife's uncle. Like that, what the feelings that he was having in that moment are the reason that he wrote that song directly. However, it literally is not about that. It is in the world to mean different things to different people, and it's the writer's intent is not any more or less valid than anyone else's interpretation or what it means to them. I really believe that now as a writer myself, that like it's both true and equally not true, that whatever you wrote the song about is what it's about.
Except the sail on Silver
Because he can
Girl
change
bit.
it for you. Even when I found out like Paul Simon was like 50 Ways to Leave Your Lover was about like him tapping that out for his child to learn a beat or something like that. And that's how it came. He started rhyming. And I was like, no, I want it to be about a tortured lover.
Yeah.
Like, I want mine back.
Right.
Yeah.
So basically, stop telling.
I want my beautiful
Everybody
scars
shut
back.
up. Yeah.
So basically, we're teaching the next master class.
See if you can tell what this one's about.
3, 4, 5, 6.
Jesus. It's about Jesus. Silent night, holy night, all is calm, all is bright, round yon virgin mother and child, holy infant so tender and mild. Sleep in heavenly peace. Sleep in heavenly peace.
Short. and
That's
sweet.
half of it.
That's it,
Short and
right?
sweet, yeah.
That's it. And then
so short.
on the record, play it again.
Yeah.
And keep playing it.
Yeah.
Then play it again.
Over
Then
and
just play the
over.
guitar.
And then equally as impressive is how many times we've heard that song and it still delivers the feeling.
Oh,
It
Yeah.
does.
No matter
every time.
It
right?
does deliver
It just
the
hands you that
feeling.
feeling that makes you want
You
to
guys are
sob a
handing
little
so
bit.
many feelings.
It's our business. We're the handler of feelings.
You're the feeling
What
handlers.
a good job. It's the best job ever.
Feeling handlers?
Yeah.
Yes.
That's good.
I think you guys have the coolest job in the history of jobs.
You really do. I would
really
give
do.
anything to be a singer-songwriter.
The fucked
Why
up
don't
part
you-
is she can sing.
Mm.
Isn't that rude?
Well,
So
Yeah.
here we
Yeah.
go.
We're coming to the
Expensive.
songwriters.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you got
we are.
to.
I also
Sad
want to come
song summer
to a
camp.
show. Are you guys going to be doing shows?
We just
Yeah.
had one here.
Yeah, I know.
That is true.
Greedy.
We
Yeah.
started the Los Angeles Folk Festival, which happened for the
Seriously?
first time last year,
Yeah.
and it's happening again in March.
Can we go?
fun.
Yeah, at the Bellwether.
Okay.
Yeah,
We're there.
Come down.
come.
It's us and Maddie Diaz and Emmylou Harris and
That's so cool.
a
Amazing.
few others.
It
And I'll see you
Can I
at
just tell you guys
baseball.
something? I just want to say something. It takes a lot for me to actually go to a concert or a
Same.
show.
Oh my God.
I actually kind of hate them.
Same.
I have to go.
Serious.
I have to like love the band, know all the music or whatever to get me, and I am asking to go. So
Yeah.
That's a big deal.
Awesome.
We take it
appreciate
very seriously.
I'm being very serious.
I know. We're honored.
And
I'm-
if you want to do it in the true style of a Milk Carton Kids fan, you would find an older person to take with you.
And
that
heal
you could
your
bond with, yes.
your relationship
Yeah, yeah,
with.
heal your
100%.
relationship. Yeah.
The next
100.
old person I meet, I'm going to be like, you're coming with me.
Or a younger. Or a
Yeah,
younger.
yeah.
I'm bringing
There's
my
a
kid.
total
Yeah, it
cross-generational
could be.
I'm bringing
thing.
my kid.
I like
Yeah.
to say that we're the New Balance of bands.
Dead.
Explain. Please explain.
Because it goes through each generation.
Every generation, there is a New Balance for them.
All right.
Another way of saying it is, if we were going to like Oprah gift a gift to every member of our audience, like you could give every member a pair of New Balance shoes that they would be totally into.
I love that.
I
Yeah,
really
I think
respect
you could
that.
do it with Crocs too, though.
I
I'm not
feel
gonna
like
lie.
There's an anti-croc contingent,
There is-
which I
there
don't
is-
I
respect.
think it's
but
dead.
There
I
is an
think it's dead.
anti-croc, and the irony is the person who introduced me to you was so against Crocs, and I was obsessed with them. I even got them a pair of Crocs that they never wore.
That's
Well,
rude.
maybe they will wear them.
They're gonna wear them now. That's what I'm saying. Like
After
you
seeing
have
Joey
just
Ryan, you
make
Try
Crocs
it.
great again.
Try
Sorry.
here. Try New Balances next time.
Okay. Okay.
New
No,
Balances are the Milk Carton Kids of shoes.
But the Crocs, you just saved me with that,
Yeah.
and then you took it back and you
Well,
flipped it and reversed
no
We
hard
want your
feelings.
endorsement.
Joey's been
People
trying
are
to
different.
pitch this New Balance corporate sponsorship for decades
Okay,
now.
New
Trying to
Balance.
get the
Everywhere I
New Balance.
go.
New Balance.
Yeah, he's
It's
been
New
trying.
Balance.
I think because he thought that we had a shot, but then
We know the people that rep New Balance.
We do?
Would you- what's the?
Oh, does she have? New Balance?
yes. Yeah.
Guys.
yeah, but except now.
We will make that.
we're gonna make the
connection.
connection happen for you.
But Joey thought it was like
In the
down
bag.
the rung enough that they'd be interested in an indie folk band. But now they have Shohei Ohtani. They don't need. They're not like flying down to folk music.
Do you think that makes me want the endorsement more or less?
Ohtani is
Oh,
New Balance.
much more. Yeah, he's the New Balance
He's
guy,
the
right?
face of New Balance.
He's the
He's
face.
the
of
face.
He's
New
got
Well,
his
that's
whole
as far as
own
I'm concerned.
section
That's
of the
only,
website. Yeah.
you know, one small fraction of people.
Yeah.
I like your attitude.
I'm sure our
Let's
deal
close the
structure
deal.
would be a little different from
Different.
Shohei's, but
Just a
there's
little
all
different.
there's all types of people are different. Endorsement deals are different.
What's gonna happen if we bring you New Balance?
Yeah.
Oh
think-
man,
I think we're gonna
Take us to the camp.
definitely,
To the right
We're
of
definitely in the
Absolutely.
camp.
Free admission
We're
to the camp.
definitely in the camp.
absolutely that. And Joey figure out how to sweeten the deal.
What is Foothill Fog?
Okay,
been
let
staring
me
at me.
explain. Have you ever heard of a London fog?
Yeah, but I
London
guess I
Fog
don't know
is-
what it is other
let
than
me-
a coat.
I'm gonna. That is a brand.
Right.
No, it is a Earl Grey tea latte with vanilla in it. Okay, that's what a London fog traditionally is. This particular coffee place
Pasadena variation.
makes their own vanilla, and like they have a place in Altadena and in Eagle Rock. They're in Eagle Rock,
What's
Yeah.
the place?
unincorporated.
Oh yeah.
Okay. And so they call it a foothill fog because Foothill, the
Foothill
street,
Boulevard.
is, yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
That's the story.
Got it.
Unincorporated. I have to try it. I'm a coffee commissary.
I was gonna ask you where yours was
We
from.
do love that place.
Unincorporated, it's great. They make their own vanilla. I mean, you can't ask for much more than that. Their foothill fog is,
Do you ever do a Mara
this world.
Kitchen in Eagle Rock? Well,
yeah.
it's like Highland Park.
there's one in
That's
Altadena
the
too.
best place ever.
It is. East side.
Have you tried coffee bean? And tea leaf?
Old school.
I love Coffee Bean. There's one in Brentwood.
That's all there is in Brentwood.
That's true.
Oh, wait, there's no
True.
unincorporated in Brentwood. I'll tell you that much right
There's
now.
coffee bean and chin chin.
Chin chin for sure.
Oh, I love the
I'm
Chinese
hungry.
chicken salad.
Right?
Yeah, that
Yeah, I'm
sounds good.
hungry. We need food.
Right. We did it, guys.
You
All right,
guys
we
are
did it.
That was
awesome.
incredible.
Let me just tell you.
Please tell me.
Hold on. I'm going to. It's a vibe. It just puts me in a good mood. How do you feel about holiday music like way in advance?
I think it sucks.
What?
I don't like when they get ahead of the holidays so that by the time the holiday comes, you're like, I don't want to hear any more Christmas music or holiday music, you know?
When do you feel like it's an appropriate time?
After Thanksgiving.
After Thanksgiving.
That's when I think the holidays should start. I think it should be Halloween, Thanksgiving, cue holiday music.
I will say I have a hard time going into Target in September. And like there are remnants, like little Christmas things around before
And
Halloween.
It's like hot.
And it's hot.
Yeah.
They're so up on it all.
Mm-hmm.
It's a little disarming.
And then I feel like they're out of the things you need before you even get to it. Like when we went to get our Halloween
It was already
decorations,
Already gone.
already gone.
Done.
And they already had Christmas up. And I was like, oh, we need to get our Christmas stuff now.
I know. It's like once you need the things, they're all gone. And I do get that. But I do love holiday music. Do you remember when Coast, they start like November 1st with Christmas music?
Yeah, November 1st. I guess November's appropriate.
November feels appropriate. Because
Yeah.
like to me, it's like already Christmas. It's November, right? Like it's getting there.
It's not Thanksgiving yet.
I know. When do you think it's appropriate to decorate for Christmas?
Right after Thanksgiving.
Okay.
You?
I mean, I know a lot of people will go get their tree right after Thanksgiving. My thing is a lot of the times the trees don't survive that
They
long.
don't. I know. But I want it there.
There's so many tips on keeping trees alive.
Water.
But like, yeah.
Water. And then when you get it,
Water.
water it.
What type of tree and what? We've done this before.
Yeah, but it's important.
White lights are colored.
So colored.
Yeah.
It used to be white because the people, when I grew up, I felt like we were like, what's the right word?
Like more established if you had white lights.
White lights.
Yeah.
And we didn't have white lights.
Yeah.
So I always wanted the white lights. So we did it. And I was like, I don't want the white lights. I
It's
want
not
the colored.
cozy.
It's not cozy. It
I
doesn't
know.
feel kid.
We've always been colored and growing up and in my household.
Did you ever want the white though?
I think the white is very pretty,
Beautiful.
but I never wanted it.
You never want. Well, my friends had it. Like their tree was so perfect. It was like the white lights with these like big red bows all over. It
Yeah.
was so beautiful.
Yeah.
And
We were never bows.
we were never beautiful.
My pop would always take the silver tinsel,
Yes.
perfectly place it on the tree.
Yeah.
That was a favorite memory.
Do you still do tinsel?
I don't see it often.
Yeah, I don't do it. I don't do it.
No, I haven't done it. And I don't even know the last time. But now that I think about it, like, is it even available?
I wonder.
I wonder. Don't know.
How do you feel? This is something we've been contemplating and really thinking about is how do you feel not being home or at someone's home for Christmas?
So you're camping? What do you mean?
Well, no. You could be at an
Like
Airbnb
if you go on a
or you
trip
could be at a hotel, like to
hotel.
go out of town.
Because you're like, what if you're
How do you feel about being in your car?
I am a big creature of habit.
Yeah.
I would have a hard time not being in a home for Christmas.
But like, what if you're in an Airbnb, but it's like someone you're renting, but there's no Christmas tree?
I think that's a deal breaker.
I can't do it.
can't do it.
I can't do it.
I would literally pack a fake tree in my suitcase and decorate.
Yeah, like I'm almost willing to forego the vacation of going anywhere just because I'm like, my kids are only going to be this young once.
Like, how long are they going to believe? Does Elliot question it?
He's questioned it.
Yeah.
But then I'm like, babe, people question everything. Like, you know?
Yeah.
I think his friends are more advanced than him in a lot of ways. Like I feel like
Briar too. I think she
Yeah.
wants to believe, you know, so she still holds on to it.
yeah. And the elf on the shelf and like
She's obsessed with Elf on the Shelf.
wow.
I save things on Insta. I know. I save things on Instagram for ideas. Really, I had an ex-boyfriend who screwed me over by doing the most elaborate Elf on the Shelf.
I've never
setups.
seen anything like it.
Yeah, and I'm like, I can't keep up with this.
No, it was like set decorating.
It was like Oscar worthy.
Pretty good. Yeah, it was really
I
good.
know. It was so good.
Maybe we hire him. No.
He would
We're
still
like,
come do it.
Could you come?
Yeah.
Sneak down the chimney.
He legit would.
Yeah, he would. He was really like that was like a calling he probably never knew he had.
Never knew he had. People should hire him
They should.
to just set up Elf on the Shelf every night.
He could make
so much money.
Like TaskRabbit,
But Elf on the Shelf?
Elf on the Shelf. Honestly, he could make a killing
I
because
think we need to call him right now and
yeah,
tell him.
you want to go to sleep, you know.
I'm trying to think of a clever name for the business.
He'll come up with one.
Mm-hmm. An elf with bells. Like has bells on.
Yeah, or
See, we love this kind of shit.
Speedy
Elf.
elf service. You sleep, I elf. I'd be like, where do I sign up? I sleep,
Elf
you
help. Like self-help?
Elf help. Oh my God, that's so good. No, this is legit.
Oh my God, this is legit.
But then people have to trust him to come
I know,
into their
to
home.
come into their home at
The
night.
plumbers come into their homes and
At
stuff
night
like that.
while they're sleeping?
Not at night when they're sleeping.
Oh,
Well, maybe you do a consultation because he's going to be working with you for
we can
a
vouch
month.
for him that he's not gonna.
Steal anything.
He
take
might make some
anything.
offensive jokes, but he's not gonna steal your shit.
But you're going to be asleep, so you won't hear them. But you work with him for a whole month, so you have a consultation.
Yes.
You meet him, you give him a key, you say, here are your hours. You come in, you do it. Genius.
This is brilliant. Someone's gonna steal our business idea.
No, we got to give it to him.
It's a little sus because you have to go into people's homes, but
people let people into their homes for a lot of things.
while they're sleeping, they're very
It's just
vulnerable.
the sleeping part.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
People would pay for this service. I know it.
I would.
We're
It's
gonna
the-
call him after this.
It's the worst because you're like, I can't fall asleep
Yeah.
because I got to make sure they're good and asleep first.
Yeah.
And then I've got to come up with a freaking elaborate change of scenery.
Yeah.
And then if you forget and they're like, the elf didn't move, you're an asshole.
The elf often does not move
Yeah.
for a
it's
lot of
happened.
people. Okay, we're on to something.
What if it's really early in the morning? No,
Too
you
risky.
need the time.
Too risky.
Too risky.
Yep. It's like Santa. Too risky. I'm very excited to tell him our idea.
They just have to do a background check.
They can't do a background check.
Oh.
I'm just kidding.
I'm dead. You just take our word for it, okay?
Take our word for it.
Elf help coming to you live.
Super friendly. Oh my god. Okay, so much
That's
fun.
good stuff.
Good stuff. I love coming up with holiday businesses.
Yeah.
Okay, we've accomplished so much. I feel like the holidays just inspire us to come up with big things.
Yep.
Thank you for listening.
Thank you.
See ya.
What about Rob?
Fucking Rob. It's like, what about Bob?
Yeah, it's going to be like everybody's going to be looking for him. Rob needs to get it together.
Rob needs some elf help.
Yeah.
Rob.
We
don't know where we are.
We've got a Santa tracker on him.
We need a Santa tracker on him.
Mhm.
I'm going to get an air tag and I'm just going to put it on Rob.
Okay.
All right. Thanks, guys.